Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got the date wrong. I know I'm trying to edit it, but I don't think I can. But there you go. We're live. That's the main thing. Welcome anyway, Telly lad. Yeah, yeah. Well, I've got the date wrong. I know I'm trying to edit it, but I don't think I can. But there you go. We're live. That's the main thing. Da 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 da. Oh dear, dear. Well, we just need a better performance, don't we, than what we did against West Brom, and I'd like to see Sunderland really play for 90 minutes, which would be nice, rather than just a one-half team. Well, we just need a better performance, don't we, than what we did against West Brom, and I'd like to see Sunderland really play. Oh dear. I'm expecting a full house at the stadium like today, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the result will be positive, of course. Got nothing to do with the attendances, of course, but this is a sort of league where any team's beating anyone at the minute. Got nothing to do with the attendances, of course, but this is a sort of league where any team's beating anyone at the minute. How you doing, Telly? Hope you can hear me loud and clear, mate. I'm all over the place for me dates and days. It's like, oof, I don't even know what day it is today. I know it's Boxing Day, but is it a Monday? Is it a Saturday? Is it a Sunday? It's like the Christmas fortnight. It's like a Saturday for it's one big Saturday for 2 weeks over the Christmas and New Year period. I am all over the place when it comes to what day it is, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. All over the place for me dates and days. It's like I don't know what day it is today. I know it's Boxing Day, but is it a Monday? Is it a Saturday? Is it a Sunday? It's like Christmas fortnight. It's like a Saturday for it's one big Saturday for 2 weeks over the Christmas and New Year period. Yeah, cheers, Telly. Thanks for that, mate. I'm glad you can hear okay. So, what's your predictions, Telly, today? What do you think will be happening today? Then, are you expecting to win? Or would you be happy with a draw? Blackburn, just like a Burnley and a West Brom, they're a decent team. I think Sunderland will do well today to get a point. Um, just please avoid defeat at home and amongst the full stadium. So, what's your predictions today? What do you think will be happening today? Then, are you expecting to win? Or would you be happy with a draw? Blackburn, it's like a Burnley and a West Brom. They're a decent team. I think Sunderland will do well today to get a point. We will, of course. You're going for a sneaky 1-0 win. There's no team news being announced as yet. Just seen some headlines and stuff as well. Sunderland will listen to offers in January, but won't jeopardise the team. But there is some work need doing, without a doubt. I mean, if anybody does whinge, about if we're doing shit or this and that and the other, but what you got to look at is when you look how far Rotherham and Wigan were ahead of us last season, and now how much we're ahead of them this season. I know it's only halfway stage now, but it shows you how far we've come. We're like seem to be quite ahead of Wigan and Rotherham now, and they were lords and leaps and lords ahead of us last season. So we've definitely, done a lot. I know. I mean, Tony Mowbray keeps on hinting on the fact like we don't need much adjustments, or we're not bringing much in, but I do think we need. 4-4-2 would be a nice formation today, I'd say. Yeah, 55 points I would say would keep us safe. I do think we will be safe. Look, there's no ifs and buts about that. And I do think if we do um, manage to stay up this season, you've got to look at that as being a really good season. Yeah, 55 points I would say would keep us safe. I do think we will be safe. Look, there's no ifs and buts about that. And I do think if we do um, manage to stay up this season, you've got to look at that as being a really good season. I'm still a bit dubious over Tony Mowbray though. Ifs and buts. I'm still a bit dubious over Tony Mowbray though. Ifs and buts. We're just waiting for the Southern Company to come in and join us. 50-50 with Mowbray. I mean, yeah, I'm like that. I've never really sort of been impressed with him. I didn't want him here in the first place, but look, if he steadies the ship, if he keeps us up this season, job done, but he's definitely not the man to get us up in the Premier League by a long shot. I'd be amazed if he is, but, I just want Sunderland to have a manager. I'm getting sick of this coach role all the time. So don't forget the Premier League also returns for the first time after the World Cup. I think Brentford to play Tottenham, and be interesting in what reception Harry Kane gets from the Brentford fans after his penalty miss. There's bound to be a bit of shithousery by some of the fans going on, there usually is. Can't blame Kane really, anybody can miss a penalty, anyone. So don't forget the Premier League also returns for the first time after the World Cup. Got Watford v Millwall, that'll be a tasty tie as well today. He's a steady Eddie. Don't think we will be knocking down walls with this guy. No, absolutely not. I don't think he's designed really for knocking down walls, is he? I think he's been brought in sort of get an experienced manager to come in to sort of keep us in the Championship this season. But I just hope that if we do get somebody next, that we do pick wisely and don't get somebody from the Angus McTavish League, Scottish League Division 2, and up and coming jock manager or something. It's just bollocks. We need to show a bit of ambition. But we need to spend. Whether you like it or not, that's football, and you need to spend to do well, and Sunderland need to do it. Yeah, the scouting has been good. We have been bringing some decent, good teams in, like Diallo and things like that, and Sims. I'm just iffy about loans all the time. I'd like Sunderland players to be Sunderland players because you can't really build a team on loans. Maybe see you through a season and that, but I don't want to just be a loan club. I'd like to get an established squad, and the Sunderland player is a Sunderland player. I still think Ross Stewart will be away of mind. I hope he doesn't, but the longer that goes on, where there's not a contract sorted, the more I'll be thinking. He's away. £10 million has been moved for Stewart. It'll be a good move to take £10 million. But how are we going to progress as a club if we're just not going to let our team get stronger and stronger? How we're going to go forward? Or would Stewart maybe not be amiss? Would the money come in handy? Who could we get?
But, you know, how are we going to get further forward if we just keep selling talent? We're just not going to get anywhere, are we? Bit like a computer game, you know what I mean? You need more firepower if you're playing a Space Invaders game and the levels get more and harder. You need more firepower and bigger weapons, bigger explosions, bigger bombs to sort of get you through the harder levels. But if you keep um, taking your big weapons away and have shitty little ones and stuff, you'll get hammered and you'll keep getting beat all the time. And you'll have to go back to the easy levels, and that's what we want to try and avoid. Without a shadow of a doubt, we need to keep building and keep going. I mean, you can understand. The only reason why I think these players do want to go is it's a, going to Rangers and stuff, which I still think he might, or Celtic or whatever. It's just so an easy path to get medals on your career or trophies in your career, because let's face it, there's no competition in the Scottish Premier League, is it? You either go with Rangers or Celtic and you're guaranteed a medal or a trophy, a championship winning trophy, aren't you, at some point in your career? So it's just an easy ride for them, isn't it? Going to the Scottish League, if that's what he decides to do, which I think he might. Money and is a player really going to win a trophy with Sunderland, like a major trophy with Sunderland at the minute? It's not going to happen, is it? And it will for Celtic and Rangers, guaranteed every season. One of them will win a big trophy, and there's that to tie them away, to tease them away to go to the Scottish League. Like managers, basically, it's any fucker can get up there and manage and get a trophy for Rangers and Celtic. Hi, John Flemings, how you doing? The board don't care as long as Kildare and Cockney board earn money from fans and keep wages down. Ross Stewart, go on, don't blame him. He's seen the light, and it's not the Stadium of Light. It's just the same old story, isn't it? But one day the fans will click on though. I do think if they keep selling the players and then they start collapsing again and they're heading towards Division One again, the fans will start to see sense and stuff. But part of the commentary team on Sky Sports got Don Goodman, who was a quality player for Sunderland, wasn't he? Telly also says Southampton has always been like that. Young players sell them on. Yeah, it's not fun though, is it? Yeah, Don Goodman saying we've got two of the youngest teams in the league, and he says sometimes that's been reflected by the inconsistency of results. And yeah, Don Goodman's just talking on Sky basically about you know, how pleased Sunderland are to have Stewart back. They've practically played all season without Stewart and stuff, and they desperately need him. Which is pretty much what we knew already, really, isn't it? I'd like to see Jimison get a full game. He was disappointing in the World Cup. Yeah, he didn't really get much of it at all, did he? So we've got the team news here. We've got Patterson in goal. We've got Gooch, Ballard, O'Nien, Sirkin, Evans, Neil, Roberts, Ahmad, Clark, Stewart. Ahmad, Clark, Stewart. That is a decent forward three. Substitutes, you've got Bass, Sims, Matete, Barr, Mishu, Wright, and Hume. Of course, if nobody knew, we've got like Elliot Embleton, suspected broken leg, I think, or something like that. I've done something to his knee. He's going to be out for quite a long time after that daft challenge he did. So we're going to see some of the comments, what the fans say. Someone said midfield is still far too weak for me, but might be good footballers, but can get bullied in midfield. We need strength as well as footballers for me, but it is. I mean, we have been outrunning a few decent games this season. Someone says, bottled it for me. The Stewart Sims duo was tearing it up. It's difficult, isn't it? He's so hit and miss, Sims, at the moment. I mean, he did jack shit against Hull, as far as I'm concerned, and there'll be a reason. Someone said he hasn't bottled it. Play any other formation would be mad and cost us the game. Well done, Tony. Looks good. 4-2-3-1, our best formation, same as Blackburn. Yes, got to be what I have been crying out for. Weeks to happen. Ahmad number 10, Clark and Roberts on wings. I do think Ahmad is obviously he's a miles better player than Sims. I do. But hey, time will tell. We just need to improve our home form. Our home form hasn't been the best this season, to be honest with you. Sims can't play up front on his own. He's like a fish out of water when he's on his own. It's going to turn the heat up in this house. It's getting a bit cold. How you doing? What he's doing now? Can't turn it off, Mike. Sunderland's playing. Sunderland's playing live at the minute. Soon. You want to go to Kim's today? Watkins to. Yeah, I'm back. I'm back now. I'm back. Yeah, I should be back now. You should be able to hear us now. I just had to put it on the mute because the kids were in. I should be back up and running. Yeah, I should be back now. You should be able to hear us now. I just had to put it on the mute because the kids were in.
Is that goal in goal?
Hmm?
Is it goal in goal?
I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah. Still tired off my Christmas dinner. Charles. Still tired off my Christmas dinner.
So not getting any audio commentary. I just need to check. Excuse me. What's happening with the CFC audio stream? So not getting any audio commentary. I just need to check. Excuse me. What's happening with the CFC audio stream? So let's see if we can find out what's happening with the audio commentary then. Oh, and it'd be a decent crowd, absolutely. Very temperamental, the Sunderland audio thing. We'll maybe wait, maybe they're going to do half an hour, or maybe they're short-staffed. Who knows? I wonder if BBC Radio 5 Live are doing it. Let's have a look at that. There might be, actually. Five Live aren't doing it. Five Live Sports Extra aren't doing it. Talk Sport app's doing it. Yet again, If there's a Premier League game on the same time as Sunderland, I can't see. Yeah, Brentford, Tottenham, they'll be on, won't they? Talk Sport 2. Talk Sport 2. We'll have a listen, see what's going on. Well, there's 3 football games on Talk Sport. Obviously, all the Premier League stuff. Talk Sport 2. Ah, there we are. Sunderland v Blackburn. So we have got backup. Bit hit and miss the Sunderland AFC commentary, like it's very, very strange.
Connected. Searching.
Ah, that sounds like a good sign. I think we'll be up and running on Sunderland FC soon.
Framed.
Whoa, 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 Well, straight away, that's a copyright on my YouTube video. I'll have to trim out. We are up and running though. That'll me doing some trimming at the end of this video. George Benson, that tune, actually. God, it's a pain in the backside, isn't it? But we're up and running. That is the main thing about it. In the air and lots of loving everywhere.
Services were called to an address on John Street in Cullercoats 2 days before Christmas. Lee Santos was found.
Yep. YouTube will have you for copyright. Let's see what's happening now.
Their line is that they shot down the drone, that it didn't reach the airbase, and they claim that it was debris from the drone which caused the casualties down below. This is pretty much exactly what they said early this month when there were these 2 previous drone attacks. They claimed to have shot down the drones, and they claimed that it was debris from the drone then which had caused damage down on the ground. We simply don't know what the...
Oh well, we have the sound.
Meanwhile, South Korea says North Korea has
the news
flown
at the
5
moment,
drones into its airspace, one of which flew close to Seoul. The South Korean military
You've seen a
scrambled
Rubik's
fighter
Cube like
jets
this,
and
my daughter
attack
got this.
helicopters to shoot down the drones, but failed to hit
got the
any.
most annoying
Defense
music and
analyst
this
Jonathan
lights up.
Marcus says the situation could have easily
And you've got to
escalated.
match the colours by turning them round. So if there's like a yellow there and a green, you have to do that, change it round. It's a great toy, but the music is quite annoying.
Suggesting these North Korean drones were reconnaissance gathering aircraft, but you can very easily see that if they had come under attack, this could have escalated into a very, very dangerous situation.
People living off-grid in Northumberland are getting some extra help to help them through the cold winter months. The county has several hundred homes that aren't connected to the national grid, so they fall through the safety net of the government's different energy grants. But the diesel that powers their generators has gone up sharply in cost. Glenn Sanderson is leader of Northumberland County Council, which has stepped in to help.
It was important because a number of people had raised with us the
a bit like the Rubik's Cube. I think it is. It's a different version of it.
Often up the Coquet Valley, for example, who don't have mains electricity. So without mains electricity, you're relying on a generator, and therefore you are not going to be entitled to the same level of compensation.
The NHS is to pilot schemes in 14 areas in England to identify more people with the early stages of dementia. Specialist nurses and professionals will assess hundreds of care home residents.
Good evening, Mike Cassett. Good evening from Ahoy from Melbourne, Australia. How's the weather? You had a good Christmas, Mike?
With dementia fell as elderly people had less contact with others. Under this scheme, GPs will share lists of residents at care homes who don't have a dementia diagnosis with the staff looking after them. Anyone known to have memory problems will be offered a face-to-face assessment. A specialist will then check the resident's medication and talk to their family and friends before making a final assessment.
Hundreds of people are expected on Spittal Beach in Berwick for the Boxing Day dip, a tradition which goes back several decades. Many just come to watch, but a few dozen brave the cold North Sea. One of the organisers is Councillor Georgina Hill, who's raising money for Motor Neuron Disease Association. It's a cause she's supported for many years, but she says it's more poignant this year with the recent death of the popular Scottish and Newcastle Falcons rugby player Doddy Weir.
I remember dealing with a family who had lost a young mother to the disease, and it really struck me just what a devastating, awful disease it is. And myself and Colin Hardy, who's an organiser for the association and also
40,000 approximate attendance. Does anybody know if the Aware fans are actually going in the bottom tier or they're still at the top?
Television viewing figures for Christmas Day suggest that more than 10 million people watched The King's Message yesterday afternoon. It was the most watched programme on TV, outstripping the next most popular show, Strictly Come Dancing, which had just over half the number of viewers. In sports, Sunderland are at home to Tony Mowbray's former club Blackburn Rovers this lunchtime. Blackburn are third in the Championship and beat Sunderland 2-0 at Ewood Park last time out. Newcastle play their first Premier League match in more than 6 weeks when they face Leicester away from home. Eddie Howe's team returned to action following the World Cup break with a victory over Bournemouth in the League Cup. Commentaries for both matches on BBC Newcastle coming up. That's the latest BBC Radio Newcastle news. I'm Miles Ashby. For an update anytime.
The sound of Sunderland.
Embleton looking for Broadhead's run. Broadhead!
I'll be happy with the points today. I'll be happy with 1-1 or even a 0-0. Difficult team, Blackburn. Difficult team. It depends what Sunderland team turn up. I mean, if they just do the hillbilly show of the second half like we did against West Brom, and Burnley will get murdered. Need to play for 90 minutes.
A very happy Christmas from the Stadium of Light, and alongside me, of course, Gary Bennett, MBE. 10 million watching the King's speech. Did you get a mention yesterday afternoon?
He gave me a mention yesterday.
Did he?
Yes,
Did he?
indeed. Highlight of his year, meeting me.
As it would be. As it would be. And, I mean, how do you follow that?
Well, you can't you? Really? Well, get 3 points today, this afternoon.
Okay. Well, let's, with a view to doing that, the Sunderland team shows 4 changes this afternoon, inevitably because of injuries. Patterson in goal, Gooch, Ballard, O'Nien and Sirkin, Evans, Neil, Ahmad, Roberts will come in behind Stewart for Pritchard and Clark. And the bench is Bass, Sims, Mattetti, Barr, Mishu, Wright and Hume. And Blackburn Rovers make one change from the team that won 2-0 at Norwich. An injury to Tyrese Dolan means that Ryan Hedges comes in, Kaminsky in goal, Daniel Ayala, Dominic Hyam, Harry Pickering, Joe Rankin Costello, Tyler Morton, John Buckley, Bradley Dack, and then Ryan Hedges, and then Sam Gallagher and Ben Brereton Diaz up front for Blackburn this afternoon, who are third in the table. Sunderland actually dropped a place last Monday night because Coventry beat West Bromwich Albion, and Coventry have had an absolutely meteoric rise up the table. They've shot up to 8th from bottom not so long ago. But as a consequence, Sunderland dropped to 13th. Blackburn, 13 wins, 10 defeats, and yet they're third.
Unbelievable, isn't it? You know, you look at the league at the present moment, the way it stands, you think that, yes, Burnley are the ones who's pushing, and maybe Sheffield United, and then I think it's about the next dozen who could get into that playoff.
I mean, you can't even rule out teams like West Brom, who have been sitting in the bottom three, but as we saw suddenly on this very,
I totally
very good
agree
run,
with that one,
Tony
Max. I
Mowbray
thought
said,
West Brom were immense against the second half. They totally
if you put
outbossed us.
together 3 or 4 wins on the bounce, which is easily said, but as Sunderland have found is harder to do, you can suddenly leapfrog a dozen clubs.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how, obviously, Ross Stewart hits the ground running today.
Sunderland's played in a minute,
I think he can play a huge part in Sunderland's season.
Especially here now, because there's clearly a problem.
You all right?
There's going to be a bumper crowd. Sunderland have got this headache at home, just the 3 wins, and they've put themselves into good positions in a number of other games. I mean, you think about Queen's Park Rangers, think about Burnley, those games that they put themselves in front. Only for it
Welcome to everyone in the chat. If you
steam.
can just hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thank you. Every single Sunderland match on got the audio commentary on here. Anybody who hasn't got it, I can't watch it or listen to it.
Before a ball was kicked this season, that you'd be sitting halfway in the Championship, I think every one of them would have snapped your hand off. Now, we've had a look at the Championship, and yeah, there is quality, but also we don't look out of place. In fact, we're thinking and looking at it and thinking, well, if we've got our best players who we think fit in the starting 11, you're thinking,
Graham Lindsay, all right, Mara, how are you doing? Hope you've had a good Christmas and that, mate.
Today's game, you know, we've got one or two missing. The likes of Pritchard's out today. Okay, the centre back's out today. But then you're looking at the 3
who come in.
Clark, Roberts, you've got Ahmed who's just playing behind. You're thinking, wow, if they are on their game today, they will create problems.
Indeed. Shortened build-up. Let's cut to the quick. Rob Mason, Sunderland club historian, happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas to you and everyone listening too.
The flag display, incidentally, in the Roker end today will be a tribute to Rach Carter. They've got his miners banner.
We need to nail down Stewart as a statement.
Flags for 1937 and 1973.
We need to do that as quick as possible.
Going to take place.
Fantastic. And can I just say, those people who organised that do a magnificent job. I think all Sunderland supporters owe them a debt of thanks, and the more help they can get when they ask for volunteers, the better. All credit to them. Terrific stuff.
And obviously relevance today, with it being the last home game of the year, we will have a minute's silence and a roll of honour, if you like, to players and families and friends and fans who have died during the year.
Yeah, absolutely. And that minute's silence today, Nick, as you've just pointed out, is really for everybody. It's, you know, it's for former players, it's for former club staff, but it's also meant to recognise everyone, you know, who's a Sunderland supporter who's passed away. And in today's big crowd, the chances are an awful lot of people in the big crowd today will have lost people who were close to them, be they family or friends, and that minute's silence is for all of those as well. But yes, there are some very famous players who've passed away during the year.
Do you know them off the top of your head?
Well, yeah. To start with, let's talk about Billy Bingham, who was the first, as we've just had the World Cup finished. Billy was the first Sunderland player to play at the World Cup while a Sunderland player. He made 5 appearances for Northern Ireland in 1958. Then 40 years ago this year, he managed Northern Ireland in the 1982 World Cup, famously beating the host nation Spain. And then he managed Northern Ireland again in the 1986 World Cup. Great winger. He happened to be my mum's favourite player in the 1950s. Great right winger. For a while held the record as Sunderland's most capped international till that record was taken from him. And then there was Colin Granger. Colin Granger, another winger, this time in England, international winger. Scored twice against Brazil on his debut for England. Scored against the reigning champions West Germany while, for England. But perhaps his biggest claim to fame, he was a professional singer who once sang on the same bill as the Beatles. Not too many former Sunderland players can claim that. We then had Johnny Bollins, a goalkeeper who made 63 appearances late 50s. Johnny Bollins, who Jimmy Montgomery always says was a big influence on him. So much so that some years ago when I helped organise a This Is Your Life tribute to Jimmy Montgomery at the stadium, I was very pleased to get in touch with Johnny Bollins and invite him to come up as a big surprise to Jimmy, because he'd been one of Jimmy's big inspirations. So they're the three former first team players who've passed away this year. But there are numerous other people who've passed away as well. Important people behind the scenes. One in particular I'd like to mention, a chap called Alec King.
So I'm going Roberts to a Sunderland sneaky 1-0 win. I'll take
in
that.
My time at Sunderland Football Club,
I will definitely take
I've never met anybody nicer than Alec King. He was a gentleman, he was brilliant at his job, he had time for everybody, he was absolutely excellent. And as I've said in the tribute to him in the programme today, Alec came up with the term the caring club. Now that, as you can see from you rolling your eyes, that, and I've said this in today's programme, that description has been thrown back at the club many times over the years by people whenever they've been dissatisfied with something or other the club's got wrong. And like any big organisation, sometimes the club gets things wrong. But make no mistake about it, Alec did care. And Alec did absolutely everything in his power to make sure that when he was here, the club did care. And Sunderland won many awards such as Family Club of the year after year when Alec was in charge. So hats off to him. He was a fantastic person. He later went on to work for Newcastle United. I'm aware some people here listening to this broadcast will be of the black and white persuasion. Alec also gave great service to Newcastle, and previously, before coming to the North East, had done so at Grimsby Town. And there was a Thanksgiving service for Alec at Blundell Park, Grimsby Town's home, a month or two ago. And then other people such as Graham MacDonald, who again worked at both clubs as commercial manager. Graham became commercial director here, having initially been Alec's assistant at Sunderland. And then I've mentioned also some supporters. Let's remember Mr. Michael Waggett, who was the supporter who sadly was the subject of the medical emergency here earlier in the year in the game against Burton Albion, who later passed away. And I did a book, an official club book at the end of the season called Pride, Passion, Promoted, which was the club's record, mainly a pictorial record of the promotion season, which we dedicated to Mr. Waggett. And also more recently,
17 in the
a friend of mine, a lad called Paul Davison.
Now, if you can
Paul
hit the
had
thumbs
been
up
one
and
of
give
the
us a
singers on the
subscribe,
famous
thanks to help the channel.
Read record.
Hope you
About
enjoyed
10
today's
years ago,
commentary.
Paul had a life-changing fall that meant he spent the last 10 years or so of his life in a hospice. Despite that, he still had a season ticket, and he was here as recently as the Blackpool game this season, shortly before he passed away. And there was people like the fitness coach, Steve Black, the former groundsman, Tommy Porter, all people who've played a big role at some point in the history of Sunderland Football Club. And as I say, that minute's silence is also dedicated to everybody who's listening today or who's here at the match today, who's lost a family member or a friend over the course of the year, because this is a big family day, obviously. Lots of people here back home visiting for Christmas. My son from Sweden's here today, for instance, staying with me over Christmas, and that'll be replicated with lots of people throughout the crowd. And lots of families have lost someone, and this is a day that brings everybody together. What we all share in common is a love and a passion for Sunderland Football Club. And when that, when people leave,
come on, Sunderland!
And that's something that is represented by the Heaven branch of the Supporters Club that's now doing great things in sort of always keeping alive the memory of people who've been part of the Red and White family. And although we say Sunderland till I die, as everybody knows, that doesn't end when you die, because your family and your friends keep your memories alive.
As someone said to me yesterday, the best view in the house.
Absolutely, yeah.
Before you go, I've just quickly got to mention your book on the players, because one of our colleagues in the press brought in his copy for you to sign it today, and it reminded me because it's such an amazing volume, and all those people that you've mentioned in terms of players and managers have been in there, but also this is a televised game today, and the sound man for Sky, Julian Brannigan, is here, and his father played for Sunderland, and he was reminding me that you'd written a double-page spread on him in the Wickham programme before COVID, and yet another just small connections.
The funny story there is that the sound chap you're talking about, when his father played in a reserve game for Sunderland, and Sunderland won, I think it was 8-1 in a reserve game. The other scorer was a guy called Johnny Hannigan, who scored a hat-trick, I think, or maybe 4 goals, when Sunderland scored 8 against Charlton Athletic in 1958, 56 rather. But in that reserve game, the scorers went Hannigan, Brannigan, and so on. All 8 goals came alternatively. Yeah, absolutely. It was just one of those quirks of football and fate.
It's brilliant, lovely. I mean, funnily enough, I said to Julian that the thing about your book is you only had to tie your shoelaces up and kick a ball once and you'll be in it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I've tried in that book as well, as I say, to tell the story of the entire career of that player and what he did after his time at Sunderland, not just his time at Sunderland. So it's gone down very well. I'm aware a lot of people got it for Christmas presents yesterday, might have had a bit of a look through it for the first time in the last 24 hours.
And many of them
and I hope they enjoy it.
An emergency, having dropped them on their feet.
Yeah, yes, it does weigh 1.5 tons. But I hope those people who did get it, find it very interesting and enjoy it. And
hello, Wayne Walden. Hi, guys. Hope you're well. From a Fulham fan, I think that Sunderland will win 3-1. I just think
before you go,
you're looking at me. Do you want me to write the next one?
Absolutely, not just a legend, but
from the horse's mouth,
dedicated to Fulham as well, and to credit them footballers that are so loyal to their football.
I think we probably did, but I can't remember it. It's a while ago.
Another legend will be
the thing is,
sadly missed, but will forever be remembered throughout the country, throughout the world, and throughout the community of Fulham. So a big
Bennett has
RIP
many
to George
accolades, but for me, the greatest of
sadly
Benno's
passed away
accolades
recently.
is his 5th on the all-time appearance list. And when you look at some of the players in that list, and another one in the top 10 today, I've interviewed in the programme today, Michael Gray, because he played for Sunderland and Blackburn, and he's in the top 10. He's very, very proud to be in the top 10. Well, Benno should be even more proud to be in the top 5 when you look at those list of players. Indeed. And look at the people he's above.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
Rob. Yeah,
thank you.
And thank you.
Cheers
For everything you do.
Some knowledge that he's got in that brain of his, isn't it?
I know it is.
Don't ask me anything useful. That's what my wife always says, Benno.
Remarkable. Ask him what he did yesterday. Anyway, Rob, thank you very much.
All the best, and
thank you.
Fingers crossed for today and at Wigan.
Thank you. Rob Mason, Sunderland club historian. We'll chat to him in the new year, of course. Not far away from kick-off. The team shows 4 changes, but let's hear now from the Sunderland head coach, Tony Mowbray.
Sky, who we've been linked with.
About Christmas, the schedule, and what's your thoughts on a 12:30 kickoff? I mean, traditionally 3 o'clock Boxing Day is such a big occasion for football. Does it demean it a little bit? Does it take away from it? I mean, especially if you've been in Blackburn's shoes and you were having to travel and play at that time.
Yeah, so I'm hearing they're training midday Christmas Day, and then they'll be travelling. That's not ideal in my mind. So listen, television schedules, I think football is a business. We have to accept that, really. In our hearts, the people who play it and probably the supporters who watch it, it's not a business. It's what they do. It's life, isn't it? And yet the finances are governed by the television companies generally, who pay the big money to screen the games. And I say unfortunately for the supporters, it's scheduled for 12:30, and so as the professionals in this story, we have to get on with it and play the game, but it will affect a few supporters, I suppose, who would like to have had a normal Boxing Day lunch probably and then go to the match as they've done for years and years and years. But listen, we have to get on with it. The business side is what it is, and it's no good moaning about it, because Sky are the paymasters, really. And so here we are on TV, 12:30. Hopefully we find the energy and the performance level and everything's good and we can find a win.
Will you train?
I think Fulham are doing all right as well in the Premier League. I like Fulham.
Listen, again, the message comes along, I think, and it's not to the detriment of the football club.
Just extended their ground. They've got a lovely big stand getting built. Hello, Dale. Merry Christmas. How are the lads? Have you had a good Christmas, mate?
Spend your Christmas Day. Be mindful. You always tell them, be mindful. Don't stuff yourself silly. You've got a game at 12:30 the next day, but be with your family. Get up, do the Christmas thing with the kids and with the presents.
It's gone quick, hasn't it?
And
Not be long till we get
I think
settled.
they give you it back in spades.
And the mad rush and all that's all over and done with. I was going to go into work tomorrow, but I'm going to have the day off because we've got to sort the house out, get all the presents sorted, all the junk put away and that.
For years and years and years, I see the energy and I see the drive of the team, because you have said spend Christmas Day at home. We have a game tomorrow. We've done all the prep work. We've started the prep today. We'll finish it tomorrow. They'll have Christmas at home and they'll come and hopefully run their socks off on Boxing Day.
Kick-off times are all over the place now. You can be 8 o'clock on Monday, you can be 12:30 on Boxing Day. Is there a significant
I've had too many chocolates and dips.
With players playing at those
I'm enjoying it,
though. Day when you become, I suppose, so psychologically used to a long day at 3 o'clock kick-off.
Don't forget anybody who's got Amazon Prime.
I think different managers have different ideas, different clubs have different ideas.
They've got all the Premier League games today.
The club will make the philosophy. It's so Liverpool is the one that I would know about. Jurgen, if they're playing at 8 o'clock he will have the players training 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Sims is on the bench. He's going to try Clark and
their body clocks attuned to what's coming.
Ahmad Diallo, I think, up front. He's been a bit hit and miss, Sims, but we'll see how
I personally don't do that.
Diallo lines up.
Does it have an effect? Well, I'm pretty sure over 800 odd games we've won enough night matches without having to train at 7 or 8 o'clock. I think people look for them marginal gains, them 1%.
8 minutes
and if they think it's right to train Christmas Day, or they think it's right to train at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, then it's a good luck to them. And I don't question them. I don't say it's wrong. I just do what I believe is right, and they'll do what they believe is right. And they've earned the right to, if they're the manager or the head coach of a team, to make those decisions. And every head coach and every manager knows that they live and die by their results. So you make them decisions not lightly, but very seriously about what's the best thing for your team.
Of course, there was a time they played Christmas Day and Boxing Day.
Yeah.
I think be thankful that's not the case now. With Elliot out and Alex out for a few weeks, you've talked about Patrick Roberts over the last few weeks and his frustration at not getting into the starting 11. Do you think a door's open for him in the next few weeks as a consequence of what's happened?
I think the door's open for a few as a consequence, as when we'd had different injuries. Really, people might have got opportunity and grabbed it with both hands, and so Patrick wasn't playing when I came, and we changed the formation a little bit, and then he was playing and did exceptionally well, and then he's had a spell out of the team, and maybe over the next week or two he might be a spell back in the team. He has to perform. He has to make it really difficult to take him out, as Ahmad Diallo has made it really difficult to rotate him in and out, because he scored every week just about. You feel as if you need to play the people who are doing.
So at the stadium, your light's starting to fill up.
Patrick, I see Patrick working really, really hard in training. As I see Jack Clark, who's another player who plays in a position that is easily to rotate out, these wide attacking, wingers, if you want to call them. I look at the strengths and weaknesses, and I as I said to Patrick and to Jack, listen, I can't teach you how to beat a man. I can't teach you when to do a step over and how to nutmeg people, but I can demand that you work really hard and get back and run back and tackle back and help your full back, and what do you do when the ball's on the other side of the pitch? Where are you? How narrow are you, like a second striker? Are you still stood on the touchline? I can try and dictate that to them, and I see them really conscientiously trying to please, really, and so the only positives for me from them type of players.
I mean, you mentioned players not sort of getting in to the squad. I mean, there are Huggins, Hume, Matete. I mean, there's just three that roll off the tongue. I mean, presumably they'll be frustrated. They too are looking for those opportunities.
Yeah, and they are. That's the manager's job. I keep saying manager, the head coach, the manager. It's the job. They have to communicate with these players. They have to be patient. They have to work hard. I understand the frustration. The opportunity has to arise, and generally opportunity does arise in football. We've just seen this week. I sat there and said to them all, it isn't going to be 3 or 4 I'm going to leave out the travelling squad. It's going to be 6 or 7 I'm going to have to leave out the travel. You're not even getting on the bus, and that doesn't mean I don't care about you, I don't love you, I want you to progress in your careers. It means I can only pick 18 players to go and play the football match. And they're really difficult conversations, because when you were always the one who's not coming, it's difficult to not to like the manager or to respect the manager. It's difficult to understand because you are working really hard in training, and yet your name in on the squad sheet again. They're difficult days, but you have squads because we've just picked up a few injuries. We've had a few injuries. Your opportunity needs to come, and then how do you change the manager's focus on don't rotate him out and he's the 20th man who's not travelling, because you do really well when your opportunity comes and you score a goal or you help us keep a clean sheet or you dominate your individual on the game on day. So, but I understand they need opportunity, and some of the lads you mentioned there haven't probably had as much opportunity as they would have wanted.
And Blackburn, you mentioned them, and they made 11 changes against Forest. Is that really a significant marker as to where their priority lies this season, and not the cups at all? It is the all and end all.
Yeah, well, that's 100%. That was always the case when I was there as well, to be honest.
And Millwall have taken the lead at Watford.
So, yeah, we expect
shock result so far. That shock scoreline, should I say?
And, you know, they're players that have been big for them all season. I'm sure they'll be there on Boxing Day, and it'll be a good game. The first game was a good game. You know, we felt some injustice.
So here come the lads there lining up.
Brereton Diaz, I'm not sure you're stopping. You know, that left foot curling strike right in the top corner out of nothing. We felt the second goal was offside, and you know, all video evidence.
Sunderland have won 5 more points away than what they did last season.
So match. We should have maybe got a penalty before Brereton scored, literally 15 seconds earlier. But so who knows how the game would have gone if we did get a penalty and we'd scored. So we know they're a good team. And I've got a lot of good friends, and I think I wouldn't call the players friends, but I've got huge respect for their talent and the young guys.
47,000 at the stadium, I like that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Growth mindsets and want to get
that's
better
incredible.
as footballers every day. So it's a wonderful club with a great history. I think it's a really good game. You know, it's a televised game, and maybe it's not because
anybody who thinks Sunderland shouldn't be in the Premier League is crazy. Like, I mean, what a club! What a club we are.
Give good entertainment to watching public.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE. BBC
We have only won 3 of our last 13 Boxing Day matches. Yeah. Can it change today? Can we have another win?
Tony Mowbray says it'll be a good game. On paper, it should be. We've been here before, though. We've seen something that should be fantastic, and it can turn out to be a damp squib. Hope not. I really hope not, because there's a massive crowd here today. It's perfect weather, and it's a perfect setup. Third against Sunderland. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I think when you look at Blackburn, they like to play football. Sunderland, yeah, we do know on their day they play a fantastic football as well, excellent football. But I think the most important thing is getting the win today.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it would set up this week, really, because there are 9 points available this week today. Wigan and Blackpool, and definitely Wigan and Blackpool are very winnable games.
Winnable games, but I said...
There's nothing winnable in this league, well, that's the trouble.
If you could get the 3 today, that's a real platform to
gives
go
you a
into
little bit of confidence as well.
Those 2 games. Sunderland then 4 changes because of injury. Patterson in goal, Gooch, Ballard, O'Nien and Sirkin, Evans and Neal, Ahmad, Roberts, Clark and Stewart. The benches: Bass, Sims, Matete, Barr, Mishu, Wright and Hume. Blackburn Rovers, they're all in, it's I think a dark, very dark blue, if not black, with amazingly big, white, bold numbers on their backs, for which we are both very grateful. Kaminsky in goal. It's manna from heaven, that is. Kaminsky in goal. Ayala, Hyam. That's not to say we'll get them right. Ayala, Hyam, and Pickering, the back 3. Rankin, Costello, Morton, Butler, Dack. Hedges comes in for injured Tyrese Dolan, and Gallagher and Brereton Diaz.
So we're going to have a minute's silence.
In terms of attacking play, both teams, they've both got quality.
Yeah, indeed. You know, we talk about Diaz, good player, strong player, plays up and down on that left-hand side. You've got Gallagher. You know, they've gone basically with 3 up front, really. So
definitely need to watch out for that Diaz strike for Blackburn.
You know, we've got the likes of Roberts.
We've got our Stewart as well.
Ahmed as well. You know, if they can get on the ball and make things happen, you know, it's going to be an exciting game.
Well, the teams are swapped then, so Sunderland will be attacking the north stand in the first half, a change in tradition, if you like. But we're going to have that minute's silence now for those that, in fact,
it's actually a minute's round of applause, yeah.
For those that have passed away, related and connected to the football club over the last year.
Harry Kane's penalty. Still in orbit. R.I.P. George Cohn, absolutely.
The big screen showed a roll of honour as well of Sunderland supporters.
Well, I reckon 47,000, Mike.
Passed away over this past
year. See, but it does look packed. The stadium does look packed. The bottom tier is, the bottom roll is just full. Yeah, Watford and Millwall 1.
Marvellous atmosphere. We're ready to go. And Darren Bong gets us underway. Ahmad pushing the ball back into the centre of defence, and Dan Ballard smashing the ball up into the Blackburn Rovers half, where it's nodded down in the end to Ahmad in the middle, and he's twisted away from 4 players. He's got the ball through to Roberts here, and Roberts now trying to get the ball worked out to Gooch on the right wing, and down the line it's just flicked out off Pickering. It's a throw to Sunderland in their red and white stripes in the little corner of sunshine over at the northeast corner. The rest of the pitch in shadow as the sun moves around this early kickoff. And later on, of course, this afternoon, 3 o'clock, we've got Leicester City versus Newcastle United with Razor and Ando. The ball pushed back here to Ballard, wide on the right into O'Nien, just right of the centre circle. O'Nien playing as the left-sided centre-back, Ballard being the right footer. Forwards to Sirkin, inside to Clark, into Stewart on the left of the penalty area, pulls it back, it's put behind by Ayala. Sunderland's first corner of the game.
Good movement by Ross Stewart, good ball up by Luke O'Nien, who's playing as the left-sided centre-back alongside Ballard.
So an early corner.
Sunderland going to score from a corner.
Take this.
It's all about the quality, especially first set piece.
Well, I think this is Sunderland's 102nd corner of the season. Will it lead to their first goal from a corner? Clark then on the left. It's not the greatest.
It's a terrible corner.
Easily cleared, headed clear. Out here on the left to Ahmad, who pulls it back now to Gooch in the middle. Rolls it to his right, and Corey Evans trying to find O'Nien in the penalty area. Will he get to the byline and pull it back? He does, but there's nobody really there, and it's Rankin Costello who heads it clear. It's put back into the area, and that's an offside O'Nien who crashes it.
Got to get your corners over your first man.
Cheeky little attempt from O'Nien, and it's a free kick to.
Got to do better than that with corners. They're the one we haven't scored out 102 of them.
They had a tricky spell of late. They won at Norwich, but they lost the previous 2, 3-0 at Burnley, and they were beaten 4-1.
Surely they must practice corners when they're doing the training.
Now they made 11 changes in the week to be beaten by Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, but as you heard Tony Mowbray saying in the build-up, Blackburn's priority is completely and utterly focused on getting promotion from the Championship back to the Premier League. They're well positioned at the minute in 3rd place. A throw here on the left for Sunderland. Sirkin back to O'Nien, closed down by Bradley Dack, hooked away by Patterson into touch, and Green away at the Roker end. Bradley Dack, who's had 2 cruciate ligament injuries in the last 3 years, back this season. Well, he was back at the end, towards the end of last season. Had a couple of niggly injuries as well this season. The ball played down the right of the penalty area, played in from that right-hand side by Ryan Hedges, who's in for the Inter.
Yeah, I know, Dale. It's terrible at getting the crosses in from set pieces.
Rovers. Of course, they've got some big.
I just don't know why. I don't understand it.
You know, you look at the lad Gallagher.
We've got a corner coming up for Blackburn. Let's see what the difference of quality here.
Ayala, I mean,
could be fine margins, which
got a bit of height too as well.
Matter in football, as we all know.
So
we're watching England in the World Cup.
From the right by Tyler Morton, who's on loan from Liverpool, to the back of the area where it's swept over the bar by Bradley Dack, just outside the D. Obviously a move they'd worked on in training, but it didn't come off. It's Sunderland 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. 3 minutes played, 4 minutes played of the game in this Boxing Day lunchtime. Now, they reportedly sold around 46,000 tickets, and it looks pretty much as though that's going to be not far off it today. I know there are empty seats still around, but it's going to be a big crowd as the ball comes down on the right, out for a throw to Sunderland, just forward of halfway, and a magnificent gesture that £1 from every ticket sold on top of the season cards that were sold will be going to the Sunderland Community Soup Kitchen, and Andrea Bell, who runs that, will be on the pitch at half-time.
She'd love that.
She doesn't need a microphone. So congratulations to her and everything she does, as the ball goes out for another throw to Sunderland on the far side. And the Roker Report campaign for raising funds for that, I think it's around about £30,000 this year, which is amazing in the current climate. Ball back into the centre circle here to Luke O'Nien, away down this left-hand side, and he's still going. He's been chased by Gallagher. He gets it out to Sirkin from Clark into Evans. Little poke through now to Ahmad. He picks out Sirkin on the left, who tries to cross. It crashes off Rankin Costello. Out for a throw to Sunderland on this left-hand side. Tony Mowbray in his gilet. I wonder if it's a Christmas gilet for Tony Mowbray. And it's Evans in the middle, through to Stewart. His tackle, but the ball is broken for Roberts. Roberts, and the overlap is Gooch. Roberts still on his left foot here. He's trying to get in on his left foot. His shot blocked by Dak in the D.
Credit to Blackburn at the minute. They're just charging and blocking every single shot that Sunderland throwing at them at the minute. They are defending well. They're going to be a difficult defence to break down today, I think.
In the middle of the Blackburn Rovers half, he's looking for the run of Rankin Costello down the right wing, down to the corner of the Sunderland penalty area, trying to get around Sirkin on his left, curls it in, headed away by the diving Ballard, only as far as Pickering, but then smashed away up to the other end, and Thomas Kaminski, all in light grey, the goalkeeper, the Belgian.
At 28 watching now, if you can just hit that thumbs up button, and anybody not subscribing to the channel, if you can just hit the subscribe button, thank you. Just help the channel out.
Norwich, and of course Middlesbrough centre back. He's been at Blackburn a couple of years now. Back to Kaminski out in midfield, and the keeper will pass this up through the middle, looking for the flick on by Gallagher, but it's come back here to Ballard. Ballard over on the right, being closed down by Brereton Diaz. Up it comes to Hyam to clear again, and back to Ballard for Sunderland. Back to Anthony Patterson, closed down by Gallagher. Gets it up over him. Hyam again heads it away from Stewart. Flicked on by Hedges, a Welsh international. One back by Sunderland. Dan Neil gets a shove in the back. Evans inside to O'Nien, trying to get it to Neil. Cut out though by Buckley, who's going to get a throw here on the right hand side for John Dahl Thomason's team. Last season finished 8th away from home. They've won 5, drawn none of course, and lost 7 this season. No halfway houses for Blackburn Rovers this year. Throw down the line from Rankin Costello to Hedges. Now Gallagher trying to get it back in the penalty area. And did it cross the goal line as it was caught by Patterson? No. The assistant was well placed. Patterson caught it before it went over the line. 0-0. 7 minutes played. Now in the edge of the area. Patterson just pausing, waiting for everybody to jog upfield, and they're heading towards the far side, the east side of the stadium. The kick hangs above the halfway line, then out wide, over the head of Robertson, out for a throw to Blackburn Rovers, who, having beaten Norwich at Carrow Road last time out, will face Norwich again in the FA Cup in January at Carrow Road. But on Thursday night they play Middlesbrough, and it was Middlesbrough they played last time out before they played Sunderland. Now a bad back pass, and Gallagher was trying to get in on
knocking
that.
about at the back,
and he's beaten to it by Patterson.
Well alert there, Patterson.
It's a little bit sloppy by Evans, and eventually Picked up again by Sunderland on halfway. Ahmad again surrounded by navy shirts. He gets it away to O'Nien. He gets it to Sirkin on halfway. Sirkin has to battle here with Hedges. Hedges has got it off him. And then it's won back by Stewart. Stewart trying to get through, but it's rolled off him out eventually towards Roberts. And now Ahmad. And now out on the left to Clark. And then Sunderland are keeping possession somehow. Clark trying to get it through, blocked by Rankin Costello. And cleared by Blackburn. More by luck than judgment, most of those moves. But you take what you get. Here's Dan Neil. Back to O'Nien, wide on the left-hand side, just in from touch. Swings one up through the middle, looking for Stewart. Headed away by Hyam. Picked up by Evans. Evans now on the left-hand side of central midfield. Lays it off to Clark. Clark into the penalty area on the left, pulling it. Handball! Surely that was a handball. Crashed
that would be
straight
interesting to see that again.
To my mind, of Ayala
Handball
in the penalty area, but Darren Bond has not even blinked.
It's his movement as well.
It was, wasn't it? Both
no,
hands in
it wasn't a
front of him.
handball. Straight in his chest. Good decision by the referee.
Watford and Millwall. Watford
it weren't a
down to
handball.
10, Millwall are winning 1-0. Mahrez sent off for violent conduct. 0-0 here.
Fair play to the referee. It was a good
Ahmad
decision.
now looking for Roberts on the right at the penalty area, on the corner. He's got Gooch on the overlap. Gooch down here on the right, crossing here. And Stewart couldn't get any lift on the shoulders of Ayala. And it's away to the right. And Hedges will play it inside to Buckley, who's forced to play it out for a throw. To Sunderland.
Good work rate by Sunderland at the moment.
On the left, halfway inside the Blackburn Rovers half. Sirkin then to take the throw for Sunderland. Ahmad trying to get some movement. Ahmad now back to Sirkin. Neil, foul on Sirkin by Tyler Morton. 20-year-old strolls away, his socks rolled down round his ankles. Tyler Morton. Ahmad's going to leave this for Clark to take. Sirkin sauntering forwards. Ahmad comes back and leaves Clark to go forwards now as well. Ahmad's going to take the free kick from the left here.
So someone's been sent off. Kamara, red card, 38 minutes against the
Blackburn
Watford and Millwall match.
Into O'Nien, who stabs it back into midfield to Evans. To his right is Roberts. He curls across in here, and it's headed by Dan Neil away though to the left. Couldn't get direction on the ball, and out it comes to Ahmad again. He brings it down in front of Morton. Oh, lovely little touch. Gets it out to Roberts on the right-hand side. Roberts onto his left here. Now into Ahmad in the penalty area. Ahmad goes round Buckley, pulls it back for Roberts, and he has to work to get it back, and now has it on the right of the penalty area. Taps it to Ahmad, back out to Gooch. Gooch crosses, looking for Dan Neil, and it's headed away behind.
Good play by Sunderland this.
Corner to Sunderland.
It looked like a handball on the radio, Graham, yeah, but it sounded like it hit his chest when I watched it on Sky. It definitely didn't hit his hand.
Sirkin's up at the edge of the area. Gooch back at the centre circle. This corner will be taken by.
Let's have a decent cross. Come on, we need a better quality. Yeah, you will definitely need a better quality.
Dan Neil's in a bit of space. He's suddenly closed down by Dak, who gets his arms around him to the far post. It's somehow clawed away by Kaminsky. It's another corner. And Roberts is going across to the right-hand side, the northeast corner, to take this corner kick. And players, 5, 6 Sunderland players in the box. It's whipped in by Roberts and headed in the air, hangs there. O'Nien trying to get it back in with his head, but hooked away again by Blackburn. Headed on again into the penalty area by Stewart. Comes back to him, he just lays it off a little bit heavily, but Roberts will keep it in on the far side. And Roberts now with Gooch on the overlap. He's got Ahmad there as well. He takes this on, and then to Gooch, who crosses. It's headed out by Blackburn, only as far as O'Nien, who shanks his shot, and it's wide for a goal kick to Blackburn Rovers. But a good spell.
Good spell, worth an effort by Luke O'Nien.
So 0-0. And we're in the 14th minute. Bright start. And a goal kick here for Thomas Kaminsky. Signed from Ghent in 2020. by Tony Mowbray. As the ball swept up here now. Gallagher trying to get on the end of it. It comes off Dak, who apparently is fouled by Dan Neal and Luke O'Nien between them. Darren Bond, who was last in charge of the games, Middlesbrough against Sunderland, and Sunderland here against Coventry. Middlesbrough won 1-0 of course that night, and then the Coventry game ended in that 1-1 draw. First game of the season.
2-2.
Opening game. Was it 2-2, the Coventry game?
Yeah. Goalkeeper scored, didn't he?
That was, no, Queen's Park Rangers.
Oh, Queen's Park, sorry.
Coventry was the Swedish, and that free kick's gone out behind. The unpronounceable Swedish striker scored the equaliser, remember? What was he called? I can't even remember his name, it's too complicated.
Good player.
Very good player. Very good player.
That's what we call him,
good player. The good player, the good Swede. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of eyes on him in January. I mentioned before, didn't I, Coventry's rapid rise through the Championship.
Now they've or something like that.
Oh, I tell you what, Brentford won Spurs 0 in the Premier League. Goal kick from Patterson. It's headed away down to Hedges, who's driven it right back up to Anthony Patterson.
Borowski, something like that his name is.
He was Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, we're definitely missing Pritchard on these corners, like.
Number of pronunciations we heard on the day. Gyökeres. Anyway, we resolved that. He equalised in the 84th minute. Jack Clark had given Sunderland the lead in the 12th minute that afternoon. Well, that seems like a long time ago now. We're in the 17th minute here at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Blackburn Rovers 0, and it's a throw to Blackburn Rovers on halfway on the left-hand side. Now another throw for Blackburn, which Pickering will take 15 yards inside the Sunderland half. Darren Bond encouraging him to get on with things. Darren Bond in a yellow jersey this afternoon, the referee, because of course Blackburn all in dark. As it's picked out Gallagher, but then one back by Roberts to O'Nien behind him, and he lifts it up into the Blackburn half, and Ayala heads it down to Hyam, and then out wide again to Pickering, looking for Dak, who gets it through here to Gallagher, who's trying to get ahead of Ballard, who brings Dak down. Bit of a clumsy challenge.
Ballard
in the half. Was on the floor, Dak had gone past him, and Ballard tripped him up. Well, in fairness, I think Ballard was well aware that Dak was through, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, his reaction really.
Look, he didn't get a yellow card for that, like, unless he has.
So free kick just left of the Sunderland penalty area. A reminder again that following the game here, we'll have the build-up to Leicester City versus Newcastle with Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson.
Cheers for the subscription there, Kev. Night. Don't forget, anybody new to the channel, if you can hit the subscribe button and click the thumbs up, thank you.
Blackpool, because I know everybody's days that we're all out of kilter here, aren't we?
What day is it today?
I haven't a clue.
Saturday?
Sunday.
Same as me, haven't a clue what day it is.
Does throw you as well, with it being 12:30 kickoff. And so, Sunderland have lined up 7 defenders, I think, on the penalty spot, 2 in the wall. It's driven in here from the left. Oh, and it's headed in.
Yep.
Who's that come off? It's, I think Ayala's going to claim it, is he? Sunderland seem to be statuesque, and Ayala, I don't think he even knew. I think it just hit him and floats into the corner.
That's the difference between putting your chances away and getting crosses into the box.
Minute.
Concentration, free header. Well, not even a free header. It was an excellent ball in, but it was all on his own at the back as well. He's just hit him. Reaction was poor.
I'm not sure Ayala knew much about it, but it's come off him and looped over.
It was
Patterson,
a lucky goal for
the corner
for Blackburn, mind.
And as I say, Sunderland was statuesque. Didn't react to the ball being played in at all. So,
own goal, I think.
An own goal. I think that's.
But saying that, you know what we've talked about before. You know when we had our first set piece, Nick, we're talking about all the quality of ball in.
Yeah,
you know,
our quality of balls in. Yeah, I know.
Got to deal with it.
Our quality of balls in has been shit.
That's what they get. You know, all of a sudden it's come off a Sunderland player. Own goal.
Extraordinary. It's
1-0 then to Blackburn Rovers in a sort of mesmerising free kick, which mesmerised the Sunderland defence to the extent that they scored an own goal.
Going to show a bit of character now.
So, yeah, as you say, character after a bright opening 15 minutes. Sunderland find themselves a goal down. Here's Gooch on the right-hand side. Brereton Diaz is on his shoulder. Gooch trying to lose him, checks his run, pulls it back to Roberts, inside to Ahmad, back behind him to Evans, then back to Ahmad, forwards then again to Roberts. Ahmad, lovely turn, shakes off his marker, gets it across to Sirkin, and out to Clark on the left-hand side. A little tug on him by Rankin Costello. The referee could see it, but he's let it go, and Clark into the penalty area, pulls it back now to Dan Neil, short ball to Ahmad. Ahmad then trying to get it through here to Roberts, and it bounces for Stewart, who goes down.
That's a penalty.
Stewart tripped in the middle of the penalty area.
The first thing he wanted to do is the ball. He wants the ball, Stewart.
Yeah. The referee looks, no hesitation, and points to the penalty spot.
And Stewart's taking it.
And Ross Stewart will take the penalty kick. Chance to get back on level terms straight away. So Ross Stewart to take his tally this season to 7. Ahmad, of course, took Sunderland's first penalty of the season. Now Rankin Costello's having a word with the referee.
Come on,
strolls
lads.
back into the D and beyond. Ross Stewart then at the north end of the stadium. Ross Stewart, Kaminski's trying to make himself big. Ross Stewart as the referee, just having a word with everybody outside the box. His arm outstretched, his palm upheld, and Ross Stewart, hands on his hips at the back of the box. Ross Stewart forward here with his right foot. Bottom corner! Ross Stewart smashes it in. Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Ross Stewart 7th of the season.
Great reaction by Sunderland. But, you know, what we've seen already in this first 25 minutes of Ahmed, what a wonderful player he is.
Oh.
Lovely penalty by Stewart,
everything
mate.
he's doing is coming off. He's in the heart of everything what Sunderland's doing at the present moment. But great reaction by Sunderland. Didn't deserve to be a goal down, but credit to them, they've reacted well.
They have. They're back in the game. It's 1-1 here at the Stadium of Light, live on BBC Radio Newcastle on this Boxing Day double bill. And the ball goes out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side. Quickly taken. Roberts will get it back from Ahmad. Roberts trying to dribble through. Tackled though by Hyam. Another throw to Sunderland on the far side.
I'll tell you what, Roberts and Ahmed at the present moment have got a
Feeling,
fantastic
come on,
understanding,
Blackburn.
haven't they?
Welcome to the channel, mate. Welcome to the
But
channel.
they've got that belief in their
They have, and it's interesting how Tony Mowbray saying how you cannot leave Ahmad out of this team. Well, if Roberts continues to play like this, it'll be a case
Pedro
of
Henrique,
not being
hello,
able to
welcome.
leave him out of the team either. And there's another corner now to Sunderland.
How quickly emotions
So,
and things can
1-1,
change.
Sunderland's 4th corner at the right-hand side at the
Thanks for the
north end.
subscription, John. Thank you very
And,
much. For the
Evans at the
subscribe
back
to the
of the
channel.
area.
45
Ahmad's
watching.
out
If you can
there
just
as
click the
well.
thumbs up,
Quality
thank you.
ball in.
That's what you need.
Patrick Roberts.
Jody Ground,
in
let's
his
now
gloves,
move on and
white
smash him.
boots.
Let's do that,
Lots of
absolutely.
players in the 6-yard box.
Just need a quality cross here.
Busy area. It's headed clear by Gallagher. And out to Ahmad, who just plays it down the right wing. Good ball, good vision to Roberts. Roberts now dribbling at Hedges. And now he's trying to get the ball. Oh, he's tripped right on the edge of the area, but the referee says just goal kick. So everybody troops back upfield. We're just past the halfway mark in the first half. Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Blackburn taking the lead, an own goal from a free kick from the left. And then Ross Stewart's penalty just 2 minutes later. Wasn't clear who the own goal was off.
I think it might have been off Luke O'Neill.
Luke O'Neill, he was the clearest, the closest to Ayala, wasn't he? Now Stewart wins. Oh, he's penalised.
So that was a free kick there, and that wasn't a free
right
kick
from
against
Tony
Roberts.
Mowbray.
I don't know.
The ball retrieved by Rankin Costello, former graduate of the Manchester United Academy. He's been, though, at Blackburn for 8 years. Here's the kick taken by the young man. And there was surely a handball in the middle by Buckley, but the referee's let it go. Now out on the left. Oh! As Clark went to swing his left foot at the ball, Morton takes him out.
Tell you what.
Now this could be interesting. Players surrounding the referee. That was a wild challenge by Morton.
That'd be a red card.
He was on his standing leg, Clark, and he was just wiped out.
Anticipation, are you thinking it could be a red card by the fans? I'd have to see this again.
The
It's an
referee
awful
was
challenge.
parallel with it. He's calling Morton to him. No, he's given him a yellow card. With you thinking here, that could have been a red.
It could have been a red.
But he's shown a yellow card, Tyler Morton. It was rash, to say the least. As I say, caught Clark on his standing leg. He was trying to sweep the ball away and he just wiped him out. Free kick on the touchline, almost on the left here on halfway. Clark, fourth officials having a word with him at the moment. Almost in a sense of saying to calm down, but I don't know whether that's because Clark's having a go about the colour of the card, just surmising.
He can't get him back on the pitch, that's why.
That's another thing, he wants to get back on his loud on now. Free kick taken by Sirkin, looking for Stewart, cleared. It's going to come back to him though from Morton, then Hedges trying to clear it. Back from Buckley to Ayala and to the goalkeeper. Stewart goes to close him down. It's passed out into touch. Good pressure from Sunderland. Quickly taken throw from Roberts to Ahmad. Ahmad, little back heel trying to get it through to Roberts, but that was read by Blackburn. They get it to Dak. Back in the area to Pickering to clear. Up towards halfway. It bounces above Gooch, who's trying to get it back on the end of it, but in the end Evans it was who won it. Now Dak, there's a foul on Luke O'Nien. Free kick to Sunderland, just inside the Blackburn Rovers half on the right.
46 now watching, welcome. Like I say, click the thumbs up, and if anybody who's new, just click the subscribe. Thank you. The subscribe button.
On BBC Radio Newcastle, the ball swept up into the penalty area, and Rankin Costello holds off Clark.
It's been a good game.
For a goal kick to Blackburn Rovers. Promised to say hello to a fan called Dougie.
Yeah, I can turn it up, mate. Just let me know.
I think he got a ticket for the game today. I said I'd say hello. Not that it'll mean he won't hear it, but I did promise to say it, so I've said it. Hello, Dougie. Here's Dan Neal.
I've turned it up there, Craig. Let me know if that is better, please. Let me know
Blackburn
if you can hear that a bit
just
better.
Rolling it back to Ballard and squaring it to O'Nien. And O'Nien out on the left-hand side to Jack Clark. Clark just inside the half, rolls it back to Dan Ballard. Ballard out wide again now to Roberts. Oh, he tried to get it inside to Ahmad. Dak gets it now though for Blackburn Rovers, and Ahmad's on his case. And then it's stabbed away by Lyndon Gooch. Picked up by Evans. Played back to Luke O'Nien. Gallagher goes to close him down. Ballard plays it back to Patterson. Patterson at the Roker end sweeps it up into the centre circle where Stewart appeals that it was being held. Now a chase on the left for Clark. Does well. Clark wins it back and then cuts back inside. Clark now on the left. Oh, he tried to just thread it through for Stewart, but blocked by Blackburn Rovers. But I'll tell you what, they'll be tired out by 60 minutes because they're having to think hard, Blackburn, here with this.
Sunderland's work rate's really, really good.
They're really having to keep on their toes.
Closing down very well.
Throw to Blackburn Rovers on the right-hand side here.
Thanks for the 2 subscribers there. Thank you very much.
Blackburn Rovers won. 10 years since Blackburn Rovers were relegated from the Premier League.
Now, what is it, Craig, that's quiet? Is it me that's quiet, or is it the commentary of the football that's quiet? Which one is quiet?
League One.
Because I can adjust it either, so just let us know.
15th they finished in the first season, 11th, 15th and 8th last season, 3rd currently. Free kick to Blackburn now in the Sunderland half on the right hand side, just inside the half. Morton over the ball, taps it though to Buckley. John Buckley, who's been with Blackburn since he was 6, finds Brereton Diaz. They appeal
Anthony, where you been, mate? You alright?
Hyam, but they don't get it. Roberts has won it back.
It has been a strange half. Sunderland have been slightly on top.
One up for Ahmad to chase. Ayala trying to keep his eye on it, heads it down to Pickering. Ahmad chases him, and he just wallops it forwards. Ballard and play it back then to Patterson, immediately closed down by Brereton, Diaz and Gallagher. Up to the halfway line, Hyam heads it forwards again. O'Nien heads it on to Evans. It drops for Morton, and Morton over on the left tries to get away, but gives it away now to Ahmad. Ahmad looking to try and get it through to Stewart, with a handball by Stewart, I think. Flag is up. Yeah. And a free kick to
all Sunderland, but yet 1-1 need to get 2 or
Blackburn.
3 to be comfy. Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do.
That on the far side, the left.
I had to pick Mother up
just
from
outside
Boxing
the
Day
penalty area.
The commentary. Let's have a look at this, and I'll turn the commentary up a little bit for you.
Time to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody here and listening on this Boxing Day.
Now, I've just did the levels there
at
again.
the edge of the Blackburn Rovers penalty area, swept up to the halfway line. Headed forwards again though by O'Nien. He's going to get the ball back again, heads it on again. Ahmad gets his head to it, finds Evans, tapped down to Stewart, who tried to nod it out to Roberts, and then eventually Ahmad gets it out to Roberts on the right wing. Pickering in front of him, Harry Pickering, and he cuts back on in on his left and swings the ball into the far post over Clark's head, behind for a goal kick.
Another subscriber, thanks Paul. Thanks very much indeed for that.
1-1 then in the
chat,
31st minute.
Can we get to 30?
The final quarter of an hour before break. It's been an entertaining first 30 minutes, hasn't it? It's been a good game.
It has indeed, and I think one of the biggest concerns we've seen Sunderland, especially in the first 45 minutes, press high up. It's the second half. Can we maintain this tempo? That's the big question.
Well, I think Blackburn Rovers will be hoping not. But Ahmad and Roberts in particular, a couple of twinkle toes there, are keeping Blackburn Rovers very much on their toes. The ball back to Kaminski, passes it out.
But you're looking at this and it reminds you of West Brom.
Get yourselves in a strong position, but...
You know, West Brom, they were a little bit, shall we say, laboured a little bit in the second half. They upped the tempo, didn't they?
Yeah, well, here's Gallagher now, down the right from Rankin Costello. Ballard comes to close him down, O'Nien cuts it out and Ballard sweeps it out for a throw to Blackburn on the right, 8 yards from the corner, the southwest corner at the Roker end, where before the game we saw that tribute to Rach Carter.
Don't foul.
There's the ball with Hedges, tried to play it off Sirkin for a throw,
don't
and
foul.
then they foul. Hedges, I think.
From the last set piece to Blackburn.
You know, we cannot afford to keep giving away silly free kicks around that 18-yard box. You know, we should have learned from that quality free kick.
Well, hopefully they're a bit more awake.
Yeah, well, they should be, but you know, you're just putting pressure on your back four, your defence.
Just all the frequencies.
So Morton and Rankin Costello over this free kick on the right, just a couple of yards from touch.
Yeah, it's actually on the Sky Sports main event, Sky
navy.
Sports Football, Baptiste.
2 in the wall, Ahmad and Roberts, the 2 with the tallest in the team. And a line again of Sunderland defenders who were mesmerised last time. This time, as Hedges puts it in, Patterson drops it but catches it at the second attempt. Loitering in front of him is Sam Gallagher. Rolls it out here on the left to Sirkin, out to Clark wide, back to Sirkin, back again to O'Nien, and Patterson passes it through the middle to Evans, looking for Stewart, who's passed it to Dack in fact, but gets it back, and then Brereton Diaz rolls off the back of Stewart. Dack gets it inside here, and then a foul by Evans on Buckley, just left of central midfield, halfway inside the Sunderland half, and another free kick to Blackburn Rovers. Darren Bond marching out 10 yards and pulling Roberts and Ahmad back and applying the spray. 1-1, and we're in the 34th minute. It's 1-1 at Watford, but they're down to 10 men. Watford against Millwall. And so this free kick left by Dack
for Morton to take, and he whips it into the penalty area looking for Ayala, but it's caught by Patterson above him comfortably. Read that all the way, Anthony Patterson, and bowls it out on this left-hand side to Dennis Sirkin. Sirkin takes it back inside, short to Stewart, back to Dan Neil, who swings it over to the far side, Lyndon Gooch. And Gooch, whose birthday it was on Christmas Eve, tries to play it forwards to Roberts, one back by Morton, back to Pickering, now to Buckley. And Buckley in his own half still, closed down by Ahmad, flicks it back to Ayala, and then forwards again on the left of midfield to Morton, looking for the run of Brereton Diaz. He is offside. The flag is up.
Thank you.
And a free kick to Sunderland.
I'll do your job for you.
Well, it's this old stupid rule where they've got to wait for him to touch the ball, and surely they're going to revise that. It's a nonsense, isn't it? I mean, it became clear in the World Cup, kept on seeing it, and everybody described it as a nonsense. Well, the rules are the rules. It's Watford 0, Millwall 1, I'm told, at half-time, not 1-1. I must have misheard as old Cloughy is here. But now over to Ahmad on the far side. It's played, he's lost it, and it's cleared from the corner of the penalty area by Blackburn. The game, in the last 5 minutes or so, just lost its way a little bit. It's got a little bit ragged. It's headed away again on that left-hand side by Blackburn. Nodded down then, but won by Dan Neil, who finds Ahmad. Hyam's gone across with him, and Ahmad still has it, passes it through into the penalty area, and trying to get on the end of it is Dan Neil. Goes down, had the defender's hand on his shoulder, and he's gone to the deck, and he's not very happy, but the referee's given nothing, and the ball is back with Kaminski, the Blackburn goalkeeper. Pass to Buckley, just outside the penalty area, then across here to Ayala, out wide again to Rankin Costello, closed down by Jack Clark, back to Ayala, to the goalkeeper, just pushing it out to the edge of his penalty area, and then up towards the halfway line, headed on by Ballard, back again by Buckley, looking for the run of Brereton Diaz, but Ballard's back here and hooks it away into touch for a throw to Blackburn on the left. 1-1 still, and Pickering will take the throw to Morton. Forwards down the line, Brereton Diaz sweeps it across into space here for Rankin Costello, trying to get around Neil, and tackled by Evans. Stewart gets a foot through it under pressure, out wide to the left-hand side here, brought down by Jack Clark. Sam Gallagher pushes him in the back, and a free kick.
Well done, Jack Clark.
To Sunderland. Gallagher, the big Devonian, just being spoken to by Darren Bond. Sirkin leaves this for 09. He just runs up and smashes it up, looking for the run of Roberts. Down in the bottom corner of the Blackburn penalty area. Pickering beats him to it and hooks it out for a throw. Gooch jogging down to take the throw. Roberts gets the ball and lobs it to him now. So Gooch with his throw for Sunderland. It's 1-1. We're in the final 8-9 minutes of the first half. A little bit of movement now here. Drops for Dan Neil and Stewart. Stewart brings it back here down the right, and then peeling inside and finds 09. A little flick at edge of the penalty area out to Sirkin. Edge of the centre circle out to Sirkin. Little flick on from Clark, looking for the overlap from Sirkin, but Sirkin was a bit clumsy on the tackle with Hedges, and I think he can get booked. Sirkin then to be booked. I think he's a little bit miffed about it. It was clumsy, yes. I'm not sure it was a yellow. Still, Darren Bond thought otherwise. Heading to half-time, a reminder, of course, following our game here at the Stadium of Light, we will have full commentary of Leicester City versus Newcastle United with Razor and Ando. Tony Mowbray stalks his technical area in his gilet, his hands in his pockets, and Kaminski with the free kick from the right floats up towards and over Gallagher, headed away by O'Nien. Ahmad fits his foot to it, and Stewart just helps it on his way down his left-hand side, trying to get Clark away, but Rankin Costello holds him off and gets the ball back to the goalkeeper, who floats it up again towards Gallagher. O'Nien gets above him, and bear in mind Sam Gallagher's 6'4". Out to Gooch now, and now Roberts. And Roberts' lovely little back heel to Gooch, who's trying to twist one way and the other round Brereton Diaz, who's sticking with him for the moment. The overlap coming from Roberts, but he cuts inside here, Lyndon Gooch, and in the middle, Dan Neal. Little push on to Stewart, but he tried to get it through, and Buckley blocks it. Pickering tackled by Stewart, and just kept in on the touchline by Roberts. Roberts' little flick to Ahmad. Ahmad now into the penalty area, but just past the outstretched Dan Neal, and back it comes on halfway down the right-hand side to Ballard, who puts it out for a Blackburn throw. Well, nice footwork again from Sunderland. Is just trying to get that final ball in to the danger zone, as they say. So a throw deep inside the Blackburn half on the left-hand side for Blackburn. 5 minutes till half-time. Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Ross Stewart at his 7th of the season from the penalty spot. His first penalty of the season. The ball breaks here. It's headed away by Ayala from Ahmad. On halfway, though, Evans turns it back to Anthony Patterson. Blackburn trying to push out. Patterson drives this down the left wing looking for Sirkin. Gets its head to it with Hedges. Hedges got the last touch. And it's a throw just down from Tony Mowbray, which Sirkin will take. Sirkin then needs some help here. Clark behind down the right, now forwards, but he's gone inside. He was looking for Ahmad, and Ahmad's limping here. He's holding his foot. Yeah, he's holding his right foot up. He was trodden on. He's kneeling down, crouched down now on the pitch, Ahmad.
Game's going on
And
now.
the game continues. He's got back on his feet, but he's only on one foot at the moment, now trying to walk this off, Ahmad, and it's come back to Patterson. And he drives the ball again up towards halfway. Rankin Costello heads it on to Brereton Diaz and Dak, and now back into the Blackburn half. Hedges is down on the floor at the moment, and the referee stopped the game. Well, it's a back injury. You can see that by the way that Hedges is holding his lower back. Sunderland aren't particularly happy with the fact that Darren Bond stopped the game, but he's going to allow treatment for Ryan Hedges.
The question is, what's the difference? Okay, Ahmad's been stamped on there.
And was kneeling on the floor.
On the floor. He's gone up for a challenge. He's gone on the floor.
And it wasn't a head injury.
No.
A lot of people leaving their seats for half-time now. There's still a couple of minutes yet to play of the 45, plus whatever time Darren Bond adds on. I think there'll be a significant amount of time added on, but nonetheless there'll be some. I mean, there's a good 3-4 minutes before the break. 1-1 here at the Stadium of Light, and Ryan Hedges still receiving treatment just inside the Sunderland half. And the referee just chatting with Corey Evans. So a reminder, Total Sport will be back this week on Thursday night. That's when we're at Wigan, and then Friday night, and then on Saturday with full commentary of Newcastle Leeds. On Sunday, I think,
Blackpool, yes.
New Year's Day, we're at Blackpool.
I'll keep you right.
And that will have full commentary of that as well here on BBC Radio Newcastle. Hedges is back on his feet and coming off here to the edge of the pitch. Drop ball situation where these days you don't actually compete for the drop ball.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just give it back. Bit of a nonsense. Darren Bond will just drop this at the feet of Dominic Hyam, who plays it across then to Rankin Costello, back to Ayala, then back to Hyam, signed in the summer from Coventry. He drives this down the left over the head of Brereton Diaz, the Stoke-born Chilean international. You don't get more eclectic than that, do you, really? And
Hello,
here's
hot girls
Dan
here.
Ballard
What's
on the
this?
right, drives this up towards Ross Stewart. Headed away though by Ayala to Hyam on the left of central midfield in the Blackburn
I don't
half.
think so.
A minute left of the 45. It comes back to
Oh,
Hyam
dear
just
me.
outside the Blackburn penalty area. And then out wide on the right looking for Rankin Costello. Who managed to control
So
it
how have we
and
been
play
while
it down
I've
the
been
right
getting my
wing
daughter
for
seen to?
Hedges.
We've been all right?
But over him and out for a throw to Sunderland. Halfway inside their own half now on this left-hand side, and Sirkin will take the throw back to Luke O'Nien. The edge of the penalty area, Gallagher closes him down and the keeper. Chases Patterson across the 6-yard box, but he clears this, strikes it up towards halfway, looking for Roberts, comes back to Gooch in the middle, who manages somehow eventually to get it to Ballard. Then Ahmad, who gives the ball away to Brereton Diaz, and then on halfway to Buckley, and forwards to Morton. Morton through the gap now, offside, but his flag stays down. He didn't make any contact. Brereton, Dak, and it's bowled out to Ahmad. He rides a challenge from Hyam.
Ahmad's just a
and now
different
Ahmad
class,
in
like,
the
he really
centre circle looking for Clark in the middle of the Blackburn half. We'll have 4 minutes of added time. Clark piling on the pressure here to the edge of the area where he goes down. No foul. Roberts picks up the loose ball and plays it just wide of the right post.
Got to
And now
stop
he's down,
trying
another
to go
player
down
down.
for
It's
free kicks because the last 3 or 4 we've not had any. We've had a
is it
penalty.
Rankin
but
Costello? Yeah.
if you can keep on your feet, if
He's
you can't
down
keep
in the
on your
penalty
feet, I mean,
area.
Clark
Now
just
he's going to
fell
get
there.
treatment. So we're into those 4
Bad
minutes.
shot
It's going
by
to creep
Clark.
up to probably 5, whilst Rankin Costello gets some treatment. 1-1 here at the Stadium of Light, and the goals coming in the 19th minute, an own goal from a Blackburn Rovers free
If you're
kick on the
watching,
left when Sunderland
thank you very
just
much.
stood
If you can hit the thumbs up, and
statuesque, and it
anybody
looked
new
as
to
though-
the channel,
I think
if
it's
you can hit
O'Nien who
the
the ball
subscribe.
came off it. No, I think it probably just dropped on his head.
How you
He
doing,
knew little
Roland? Hope
about
you've had a
it.
good Christmas.
It's the quality of the ball what
mate.
went
Hope you've
in.
enjoyed yourself.
Quality of the free kick.
But 2 minutes later, Ross Stewart was tripped in the Blackburn penalty area. He took the penalty, drove it low into the bottom left corner. So 1-1 is where we're at as we await Rankin Costello. He's still being treated in the Blackburn penalty area. And now he's up on his feet. A minute and a half into the minimum 4. Whether Darren Bond adds that on. Hobbling off to this near side. The 23-year-old. And everyone being a bit agitated by the time he's taking. The referee's looked at his watch. It's a goal kick in the meantime to Blackburn Rovers. Kaminski then in his light grey away to our left as a seagull sweeps below over the ball. It comes up to halfway and Morton and Clark went for it. It's come back here for Ballard to head back to the halfway line. Headed on again by Tyler Morton. Out to this right-hand side, trying to get away. Down the right is Gallagher. It's stabbed away by Dan Neal. It's all getting a bit ragged here, but it comes back to Luke O'Nien. Crashes off Bradley Dack, and it's a throw to Sunderland on the left-hand side. It is, yeah.
Yes, Ben.
It is a little bit like that. And it'll be a throw.
Jacob, how you doing,
which
fella?
Sirkin will take here. We nearly played 3 minutes of the added time.
You got
but
Yoga
in fact,
Barker,
we
girl.
probably only played about 45 seconds of the actual allotted time. The throw from Sirkin, and Rankin Costello's looking for a free kick, and he gets it. Thought he was just pulled by Jack Clark.
Getting a little bit scrappy now,
scrappy.
Nick.
Could do
You know,
with
blow your
half-time,
whistle
really. Get
now.
him in.
Get him in. Yeah.
Yeah, it is getting
And
scrappy.
Rankin Costello feigning a limp. Throws the ball forwards here. And fourth official's having a word, and he wants the ball pushed back a couple of yards, which is just getting a little bit over pedantic, I think. Darren Bond just wants the game to get on with it.
Jacob, lad, not too
So it's
bad.
free kick then from the right-hand side for Blackburn Rovers in front of Tony Mowbray. And Ayala just plays it back to Kaminski. So for all that song and dance, a rather lame free kick in the end. It's Kaminski then drives this away down the left-hand side. It comes back to Gooch, who's tried to play it into space on the right. Back to Hyam. Hyam then to Buckley in midfield. Ahmad just in front of him, plays it again to Hyam twists in front of Ahmad and plays it back to goalkeeper Kaminski. Now, technically, that's the 4 minutes that was added on, but play goes on. And here on the right is Rankin Costello. Down the right wing into touch. It's a throw to Sunderland. A slight pause from the assistant before he waved his flag in Sunderland's favour. And O'Nien will leave this for Sirkin. In fact, he doesn't. In the end, Luke O'Nien decides to take this. Stewart's come back. O'Nien has just dried the ball off under his shirt.
Whistle, referee.
And down the line it goes. And headed away again as the half-time whistle blown by Darren Bond. 1-1 it is at the break. The first half, actually, for the first half an hour was very, very good, but then it became a bit ragged, a bit scrappy and lost its way. Sunderland did well to respond to going down to that own goal in the 19th minute. 2 minutes later, that Ross Stewart penalty. Ahmad and Roberts in particular looking lively on the right-hand side, though maybe getting found out a little bit as the half wore on, but plenty of promise, I suggest, for the second half.
Yeah, plenty of promise, but Nick, how many times have we been here? You know, especially at the stadium, and I would say at least 4 or 5 times we've been here where we have done well in the first 45 minutes. We've pressed, and for some unknown reason it seems as though somebody presses the switch and the lights go out, and we come out in the second half and we're not the same team as what we were in the first 45 minutes. Maybe because of the tempo, the energy, what we put in, but we've got to keep that up, especially in the second half, especially if we want to go on and win this game.
So, bearing in mind Blackburn Rovers are yet to draw again a game this season, and we're at 1-1 now. What are the odds that it ends 1-1?
Is that a stat?
It is a stat.
Okay.
It is a stat. So the law of averages to say that they've got to draw a game at some point. Sunderland really looking to win home games now. Blackburn, as I suggest, don't draw. So it's all set for a grandstand 45.
Yes, it is indeed, and I think if Tony Mowbray looks at that first 45 minutes, one thing which he will be saying to the players, don't give away especially free kicks around that 18-yard box, because they have got quality what goes in. You know, that's how they got the goal. I think at the other end, I think if we can keep getting the ball to the likes of Roberts and Ahmed, will cause problems, but again it's that final pass which is just missing. But I think we can go on and win the game.
Indeed, the second half, the second 45 to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. At half-time at the Stadium of Light on this Boxing Day, it is Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1.
In 2022, you gave us a right laugh.
When I was a kid, my Uncle David worked at the toilet paper factory at Prudhoe. I asked my dad what he actually does, and he said, he randomly tests the toilet roll. He sits on the toilet and sees if his finger pops through the toilet roll.
And you told us how you've been making a difference.
I actually used a food bank myself, and I just wanted to give something.
Second 45 to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. At half-time at the Stadium of Light on this Boxing Day, it is Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1.
In 2022, you gave us a right laugh.
When I was a kid, my Uncle David worked at the toilet paper factory at Prudhoe. I asked my dad what he actually does, and he said, he randomly tests the toilet roll. He sits on the toilet and sees if his finger pops through the toilet roll.
And you told us how you've been making
Does he?
I actually used a food bank myself, and I just wanted to.
It's because it's been a couple of weeks. It's because since it's Christmas, town will be heaving and everything. And my dad works at a company called OJS.
Two other early kickoffs today. One in the Championship has Millwall leading at Watford. They're quite deep into the second half, actually. That was a 12 o'clock kickoff, so they're kind of half an hour ahead of where Sunderland are at. Andreas Vogelsammer giving Millwall the lead midway through the first half. Hassan Kamara then sent off for Watford as well 7 minutes before half-time. Still 1-0, though, to Millwall. It's also 1-0 to Brentford at home to Spurs in the early Premier League game. Vitaly Janelt after 15 minutes. They are at half-time in that one as well. And, of course, talking of the Premier League, Newcastle United are away at Leicester City at 3 o'clock. Matthew Raisbeck and John Anderson will begin their build-up once the Sunderland match has finished. But Razor joins us now for a quick preview from the King Power Stadium. Good afternoon, Matthew.
Good afternoon, Colin. Merry Christmas.
And indeed to you. Now, it was a very strong Newcastle United lineup in the League Cup against Bournemouth last week, as it was now 6 days ago. We could well see the same starting 11 again.
Yes, Colin. I think we probably will, assuming that they're all fit, because that was arguably Newcastle's best side, maybe with the exception of Alan San-Maximo, who came on to good effect in the second half. It was most of the team that had helped them move up to third in the Premier League, and it's a fairly settled side that Eddie Howe had been playing with before the break, and the fact that they had the opportunity to warm up for the return to Premier League action with a competitive game in the Cup on Tuesday, I think will have been of great benefit to them. Leicester, their opponents today, were also in Cup action in midweek as well, so they should both be a bit further on than some of the other Premier League sides who didn't have a midweek match. But I think Newcastle will probably be just about unchanged. We're not aware of any new injuries. Eddie Howe didn't report any when he was in front of the media 3 days ago, and we're not expecting to see Alexander Isak at this stage yet either. Eddie Howe said that it's unlikely that their record signing will feature either today or on New Year's Eve against Leeds, so it's looking like the new year for him.
Indeed. Now, talking of the League Cup, this is the first of two meetings between Newcastle and Leicester in the space of a couple of weeks, because they've been drawn against each other in the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Leicester had a terrible start to the season, but boy, are they on a good run now.
Well, they won 4 out of 5 just before the World Cup break, Colin, so having had a troubled couple of months at the beginning of the campaign, they're now in mid-table, so you're right, they've recovered, and they look a bit more like the Leicester that we've been used to seeing over the last few years, the team that's competed at the top of the table and qualified for Europe. Now, their team today may not include Newcastle target James Maddison. He is being assessed because of an ongoing knee issue, so we're not sure whether he is going to play or how much part he will have in the match. They will also be without a few defenders as well. Johnny Evans, Ricardo Pereira, James Justin and Ryan Bertrand, they're all injured. They do have midfielder Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall fit after an injury, but this is a much tougher game for Newcastle than it would have been a couple of months ago, or certainly maybe 4 or 5 weeks before the World Cup break. But if Newcastle can win, then they will move up to second in the Premier League, and they go into the match in their highest position this far into a Premier League season. For 21 years they were top in 2001 at Christmas, third at the moment, and like I say, they would move above Manchester City, who don't play until Thursday, so that's 2 days. Is it Thursday? I'm not sure. It's 2 days' time. It's the 28th.
I think
so
today's Monday.
It's today Monday.
Yes.
That Wednesday. So if Newcastle win, they'll go above Manchester City and they'll be behind Arsenal in second, which would be quite something, wouldn't it?
It would indeed. Matthew Raisbeck, thank you very much for the moment then. So Rays are back with John Anderson at around about 2:30, give or take a few minutes. Leicester Newcastle kicking off at 3 o'clock. We'll have a phone-in after that match as well, so you can give us your thoughts on the game, have a chat with Ando. The number will be 0800 234 6565. As always, we've got a decent set of non-league fixtures today as well. It's derby season over the next few days in the non-league world. We'll come back to one game that's already been played in a moment, but our featured match will be in National League North. Blythe Spartans at home to Spennymoor. Our non-league reporter Paul Dixon will be at Croft Park for that one, but he joins us here in the studio right now. Merry Christmas. Afternoon, Paul.
Merry Christmas, Colin. Yes, we've all had a good time. Yeah,
we have indeed. Now, Blythe and Spennymoor, two teams struggling quite a bit in the league. Blythe no shortage of injuries either, though, but you just never quite know with derby games.
Well, you don't. I mean, I was at Blythe this time last year when they played Gateshead, and Gateshead looked an absolute certainty, you know, to get 6 points over the bank holiday, but Blythe beat them. So I think Graham Fenton will be looking for 3 points today. They've got Spennymoor at home, and then on New Year's Day, Spennymoor away. I think Blythe have got to take at least 4 points, Colin. I really do. But they went to York midweek in the trophy, and they had a depleted team, and you know, they got whacked 5-0, which was a bad result. I mean, Graham's got to build them up. Hopefully there's a few lads back and they can have a go at Spennymoor today. Spennymoor are 6th bottom. I mean, Blythe 2nd bottom. I mean, it's a real bottom of the league contest this afternoon. I'm sure there'll be a big crowd and they'll be getting behind their teams.
There will be indeed. Gateshead are at York. Talking of York City, who beat Blythe. Gateshead are at York in the National League today as well. Only one league win since September for Gateshead, but a confidence-boosting win over Gloucester in the FA Trophy.
Well, I was there midweek, and it was terrific. I mean, they could have went 2-0 down very early on, but from about 15 minutes into half-time, they played some of the best football I've seen this season. And after the game, I mean, they won 5-1. After the game, I had a word with Mike Williamson and Ian Watson and Louis Story, the management team, and they were thrilled, and they were looking at that game and saying, really, I wonder if we've turned the corner here. But they've got a big test today against York down there. But I mean, if they can get a point at least, I think they'll be happy with that.
Indeed. Paul, thank you very much then for the moment. We will talk to Paul from Croft Park at half-time in the Newcastle game, and then, of course, at full-time as well. We'll have a proper local football roundup at 5:45. The other fixtures to look out for today: South Shields at home to Whitby in the NPL Premier Division. Morpeth's game at Mask United postponed, actually, in that division because of a waterlogged pitch. And then all 3 games in the East Division early kick-off. It was an 11 o'clock start for North Shields and Shildon. Shildon winning that one by 2-1. Stockton against Consett, a 12 o'clock kick-off. That one was 1 apiece at half-time, and Dunstan against Hebburn kicked off at 1 o'clock.
So if you like your pigs trotters, get to
still
Ant's house.
Goalless. Like I say, we'll have a full and proper local football roundup.
I've got the Black Cat here.
At 5:45. Now, on Friday night, the Newcastle Falcons pulled off a remarkable Kingston Park comeback to beat Sale by 20 points to 14 in Rugby Union's Premiership. They were 14-0 down at half-time, but then tries from Mateo Carreras and Sam Stewart, plus a couple of conversions, plus 2 penalties, all 4 of those coming from Brett Connon. Gave the Falcons what was a 5th successive home league win over Sale, who are technically their nearest geographical rivals. Here is the victorious head coach Dave Walder chatting to Ian Smith.
Yeah, not sure about the first half. One for the purists. You know, before the game I'd spoken about no one actually enjoying playing in the rain, and I'd been chastised by 3 of my coaching staff for saying they loved it. And I think you know, Mickey, Scotty and Wills fired the boys up, and certainly second half I thought we were outstanding.
Well, you got what you expected from a Sale side. They're aggressive, they're abrasive and in your face, and 2 tries.
Yeah, and we knew we had to stand up to them, and I think first half we felt a little bit miffed as a couple of things didn't go our way, but then they did go our way in the second half. We knew if we stuck at it, we'd have we've got a very, very dominant scrum this year, and very winning us penalties at key moments, and then the odd time where we felt under a little bit of pressure, Mateo comes up with a huge turnover with 3 or 4 minutes to go. Our set piece then wins us another penalty and gets us off the hook.
You might disagree.
Yeah, have a good one, Roland. No, I'm teetotal. No drinking in this house, thank God.
I mean, they came out in the second half. They had to
Enjoy the rest of your day,
control. It had to be controlled. At the end of the first half, that could have gone a bit messy.
So then, SAS Exile Macam, how are the lads? Anybody who's new to the channel, if you can click the thumbs up. Can we get to 30 thumbs up? That would be good. Anybody that's new to the channel, if you can just click the subscription, thank you. I'm going to click up on the...
not through lack of effort, just a bit of
chat
clarity
here
around
now.
what we were doing. So we were confident if we could channel that emotion, channel that energy and attitude.
So Anthony says we have been the better team, and lucky the ref blind as fuck.
It was one of those days, ain't getting the penalty.
You talking DJ? I am now, yes darling?
Got us back in the game.
You finished, good girl, you going to have your apple juice?
I think getting in at half time, actually 14-0 with them having a line out for the last play of the half.
Can't hear you, just BBC. I had to have the mic on mute because somebody was at the door. Mike says, Anthony, taking orders from Australia. Yeah, Pigs Trotters do keep fresh for months in advance.
That is Dave Walder there talking.
I'm hoping Wright comes on in the second half.
Commentator Ian Smith after
See
that Friday
DJ on the
night
fourth
victory
place in the food order for delivery.
Sale, some other bits and pieces from today briefly. The highlight of the festive period in horse racing is the King George VI Chase at Kempton. That goes off at 2:30, just under an hour's time today. Cheltenham Festival winner Lone Press and Brave Man's Game leading the 9 runners in the betting. In cricket, Australia made a strong start
more
to the
subscribers
second test
there, thank you very much.
South Africa at the MCG this morning after bowling the tourists out for 189. The host then finished day 1 on 45 for 1. David Warner unbeaten on 32.
Yeah, 2 more subscribers there, thank you very much. It does mean a hell of a lot.
Recovered from 110 for 4 to reach 295 for 4 late on the opening day of the first
it is
test
on Sky,
against New Zealand in Karachi.
Sky, and a lot of people that
the
won't be
day
able to
they
pick
made
up
it to 317
Sunderland
for 5. The
commentary
Pakistan
as well,
captain
so
Babar
hoping you
Azam,
can
very
hear
much
it
their
loud
top
and
scorer,
clear on
still
here.
there unbeaten on 161. And the goal for Kathy Whitworth, who holds the record for the most professional wins in a career, has died at the age of 83. The American won 88 tournaments in total, including 6 majors during her stellar career. It is time for us to head back to the Stadium of Light then. 1-1 at half-time. Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett back with the second half commentary next.
Half-time highlights. Total Sport. BBC Radio Newcastle.
Sunderland lined up.
It's a pig trot this place. Is that nice, Summer?
On the penalty spot. 2 in the wall. It's driven in here from the left. Oh, and it's headed in.
Yes, darling.
Who's that come off?
Just put my daughter back upstairs.
I think
Give us 2
Ayala's
seconds.
going to claim it, is he? Sunderland seem to be statuesque, and Ayala, I don't think he even knew. I think it just hit him and floats into the corner. And Blackburn take the lead in the 19th minute. Short ball to Ahmad. Ahmad then trying to get it through here to Roberts, and it bounces for Stewart, and goes down. Penalty. Stewart tripped in the middle of the penalty area. Ross Stewart as the referee, just having a word with everybody outside the box. His arm outstretched, his palm upheld, and Ross Stewart, hands on his hips at the back of the box. Ross Stewart forward here with his right foot. Bottom corner! Ross Stewart smashes it in. Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. Ross Stewart 7th of the season.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Blackburn about to get us underway. Stewart, it turns out, was the own goal. But I mean, you just hear the commentary there. 7 players, 7 defenders, and they managed to sort of somehow just not react. Good reactions, though, then to get back in the game. So 1-1, and we're underway the second half. Sunderland attacking the Roker end, unusually in the second half in their red and white stripes. Blackburn Rovers in a dark navy, if not even black, away kit this afternoon as the ball headed on by Stewart on the right wing, looking for Roberts. No changes to either team at half-time. It comes back to Kaminski, who's immediately closed down by Clark and Stewart, but the Belgian keeper gets the ball clear. Ahmad here on the right, little flick looking for Roberts, then trying to dive over Bradley Dack to get the ball back, Ahmad, and then again trying to get it now off Hyam, but it's Buckley who, despite an attempt by Evans, the former Blackburn Rovers player, of course, to get the ball, it comes back again to Kaminski. Patterson in goal, Gooch, Ballard, O'Nien and Sirkin. Evans, Neal, Ahmad, Roberts, Clark and Stewart is the Sunderland 11 as Hyam plays a wonderful ball right down the right wing here. On that right-hand side is Blackburn pulling it back to Buckley, and then again to Rankin Costello, and on the right side of the penalty area now Hedges, left foot, it comes off the foot of O'Nien and over the top for a goal, for a corner to Blackburn Rovers, and Sunderland looking a bit exposed.
Well, that's what we talked about at half-time, Nick, is about can Sunderland maintain that tempo?
Now they have to defend a corner, a set piece from Blackburn Rovers. In the northeast corner, Tyler Morton's gone down to take it, the 20-year-old on loan from Liverpool. And the Blackburn lineup, Kaminski in goal, Ayala, Hyam and Pickering. Rankin, Costello, Morton, Buckley and Dack. Hedges behind Gallagher and Brereton Diaz. Referee's seen something in the penalty area here. He's having a word with Luke O'Nien and Daniel Ayala. So Morton will have to wait while the referee gets back to the back of the penalty area.
Concentrate.
Both arms raised by Morton, right-footed, curled into the penalty spot. Ayala trying to get on the end of it. Drops for Brereton Diaz, but poked away by Roberts, and then a block as Evans tried to get clear, and a throw to Sunderland on the right-hand side in their half.
Yeah.
1-1 then, BBC Radio Newcastle,
Second half now.
Leicester Newcastle to follow this game. Dack trying to cause problems for Ballard, but it's back to Patterson. He rolls it out to Luke O'Nien. Gallagher gives chase, and O'Nien now looking for the run of Stewart. Ayala has his eye on it, and he wraps his foot round the ball in front of Stewart for a throw to Sunderland on the left. Halfway inside the Blackburn Rovers half. Be taken by Sirkin. Back it goes to Luke O'Nien. Hooks it in the air, hangs there for a moment down the left touchline, and Clark looking for it and winning a throw. Again, about halfway inside the Blackburn Rovers half. Sunderland pushing, attacking the Roker end in this.
Thank you for the subscriber,
second
Jeff.
half.
Thank you.
Now with Buckley trying to get it forwards. Ahmad heading it on, and it's picked up by Clark on the left, or Neil on the left edge of the penalty area to Clark. Clark trying to get it on his right foot onto his left. Hedges in front of him. He crosses here. It's headed away, flicked away by Hyam. Out on the left-hand side here to Brereton Diaz. He's robbed out by Gooch.
That's a foul,
and then it's played out for a throw to Sunderland. Gooch heading down to retrieve the ball.
Here we go, so second half already.
Yeah, and now who's down? Is that Dan Neil?
Sirkin,
is it? Yeah, Sirkin's gone down. I wonder what that issue is.
It's going to be Hume, I think.
They're going to make the swap, aren't they? They're not going to, then there's no
Hume.
mucking about. Hume's going to replace Sirkin. Does it repeat the hamstring?
Did they put Gooch over onto the left-hand side, keep him on the right, or did they put O'Nien over there? Or, well, Trey Hume
can play left. I suspect that's what they'll stick with. But a worry again, isn't it? They're stretching. Is it Pete Brown down there stretching his leg, and they're just wondering, is it the hamstring or is it something else?
No, Alessi on the back either, is there?
No, there isn't.
On the stream now. Just hit the thumbs up and give us a
He's up on his feet again, Dennis Sirkin, but he's going to come off.
Got 10 subscribers on this stream that have just joined. So
that's a
thank
shame
you very much
for Sirkin, only 5 minutes into the second half.
Too bad.
Hume will replace him. One has to hope that's not too serious.
So unlucky.
And Hume on then. He's going straight across to the left. Gooch waiting to take this throw on the right. And yeah, unfortunate. 1-1 then still, 6 minutes into the second half. Throw down to Roberts. He leaves it for Gooch. Good ball towards the far post. Headed away with Clark coming in on the defender who was ranking Costello. And eventually away into the Sunderland. It was a very good ball. Now O'Nien inside to Ballard in the middle of the Sunderland half. Back to Patterson. He kicks clear, wide on the left-hand side. Hume getting his first touch. But then a foul on Clark. Is it on Clark?
There's a subscriber there.
Dan Neil. And a yellow card for is it ranking?
Thank you very much, Lucy. Thank you.
Morton had a word, has it?
I've got 30 likes. Fantastic. 30 thumbs up.
Yellow
Brilliant.
card was Ayala, wasn't it?
Sutherland Thigh, welcome. Who's looking the best so far? Sunderland, I would say, have just edged the first half. It's possession.
So Daniel Ayala into the
it's a bit too early
notebook
in
of
the
Darren Bond
to
in the 57th minute.
It's been very stop-starts, injuries, free kicks.
Still 1-1 here at the Stadium of Light.
So
live on BBC Radio Newcastle.
Sunderland at the moment.
Ahmad taking the free kick just inside the Blackburn half. Floats it up towards Stewart. Gets his head on the end of it. And out on this right-hand side, Roberts beaten to it to throw to Sunderland.
He must have some quality, Ahmed, because he takes all the free kicks.
He does,
even in our own half.
Yeah, and here he is now on the right of the penalty area. The throw into Stewart, trying to get it down to Ahmad. He's got a foot to it again, but it's rolled away from him. And Morton is lost by Ahmad, who flicks it inside, but Dan Neil couldn't get on the end of the pass. Comes back to Kaminsky to clear for Blackburn. Over the halfway line, O'Nien brings it down neatly, finds Hume. Hume back to Patterson, who skies this up to the halfway line, drops for Ayala, and Ayala back to Kaminsky at the edge of the Blackburn Rovers penalty area to our right as we look down from the heights of the West Stand. Out to the left to Pickering. Harry Pickering trying to find Brereton Diaz. He's blocked in the penalty area by Ballard. He goes down too easily. And play continues. Out to Evans, back to O'Nien. And out then to Hume on the left-hand side. Now Dan Neil on the halfway line. Morton going to close him down. And out wide left then to Jack Clark. Hume's on the overlap. Clark still going onto his right foot. Looks for Dan Neil in the penalty area. Skips round two. Finds Hume. Oh, he shoots. It's blocked. Stewart follows up. Can't turn it in. And it's gone behind for a goal kick.
Great play. Excellent play by Dan Neil. Great driving run. Hume, great overlap there.
Dan Neil, who only turned 21 a couple of weeks ago, past two defenders, shot blocked. Stewart threw himself at it, the rebound, but he couldn't get it past.
It was a handball by Stewart, so.
And it's the goal kick, which is taken short to Dominic Hyam. And he passes it on, looking for Morton, who's tripped, but play on, says the referee. Tripped by Dan Neil, and on towards Brereton Diaz, but cleared by Gooch. Out to Tony Mowbray. It's a throw then to Blackburn Rovers. Pickering will take the throw, drops it to the feet of Morton on the touchline, plays it into the middle to Ayala. Ayala then out wide on the right wing, where it's pushed on by, or up to Rankin. That was a handball by Rankin Costello, but the referee's not seen it. He's let play go on, and it was a clear handball. It came down off his hand, which was outstretched, and it's gone out for a Blackburn throw. It's poor from Darren Bond. Long throw into Gallagher in the penalty area. Ballard on his shoulder. Get the ball clear, Sunderland. Out to Stewart in midfield, but one back by Morton, who nods it back into the centre circle to Hyam.
I just hope this
and then he leaves it for Buckley, who drives it right through the middle. And O'Nien clears it back onto halfway to Hyam. Brentford 2, Spurs 0 in the Premier League.
Wow.
Now on halfway on the right-hand side. Pushed on again to Hedges by Morton. Out wide, it comes back inside to Morton, and he tries to find Dack at the corner of the penalty area, but Sunderland win it back. Hume has it here now on the left, and Hume lays it off to Clark, who's trying to find Stewart. He lays it off to Ahmad in the centre circle. Ahmad looks for Roberts here on the right wing. He cuts back inside. Oh, lovely back heel into the path of Gooch down the right side of the penalty area. Brereton Diaz slides in, gets the touch on the ball, which takes it behind for a corner.
Great touch by Roberts. Excellent football.
Now Brereton Diaz lying on his back. It was his challenge, and one he had to make, I think, but he's hurt himself in the process. The referee's come across. He's clutching just below his knee, Brereton Diaz.
Diaz has twisted his knee, I think.
Bradley Dack's come across here now as well, and he's going to get some treatment. The Blackburn striker, 10 goals this season, 9 of them in the Championship. Scored, of course, that wonder goal against Sunderland at Ewood Park. On the bench for Blackburn is George Hurst, who was here a couple of seasons ago with Leicester City's under-21s. He's on loan from Leicester. He scored that night in the trophy for Leicester City's under-21s against Sunderland, and then he was lent to Portsmouth and last season, and he scored here again against Sunderland, and one would hope perhaps he stays on the bench. As Brereton Diaz still receiving some treatment down here in the corner. Roberts waiting to take the corner. He's strolling away back to have a look at what the situation is with the Blackburn striker. Having a chat with Bradley Dack. Looks like there's going to be a change here. The Blackburn bench are calling for, I suspect, George Hurst, and a change could be imminent for Blackburn. He's got back up on his feet, Brereton Diaz. Corner then for Sunderland on the right, their 5th of the game. Brereton Diaz off the pitch, and what's happening on the Blackburn bench, hard to tell at the moment, but
another subscriber there, Joanne, thanks very much.
Entirely comfortable, Brereton Diaz.
He's going to go back on, isn't he?
It looks like he is. Roberts then with his corner, southwest corner, with his left, he rolls it into the penalty area. Oh, and swinging his foot at it, Stewart, but it's blocked. Nicely worked corner kick, but they're now counter to the counter attack from Blackburn Rovers, through to Morton, trying to get it back inside to Hedges, but cut out, and up to halfway, the pass from Hume, looking for Clark. Clark gets it back from Morton to Hume, and Hume under pressure from Brereton Diaz, from Dak, wins a free kick. Now back to Patterson. Brereton Diaz just walking off, running off this knock, so no changes being made by Blackburn. 1-1 still, we're nearly up to an hour. Here's Ahmad wide to Roberts, trying to get it inside to Stewart, who was unlucky with that corner, and out on the left-hand side, Pickering gives it to Evans, and Evans now looking for Jack Clark. What a pass! His Nady slipped under him a little bit, but he's kept it in. He's now going to come in past Rankin Costello. He puts a foot in and the ball comes to Hedges, and Hedges now plays it into Buckley, who's looking to get it back out to Hedges on the right wing for Blackburn Rovers. On the touchline, he's trying to get back past Hume, and he's fouled by the Irishman, and it's a free kick to Blackburn and a yellow card for Trey Hume. He's only been on the pitch 10 minutes.
You look like you've got the ball a bit.
Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1.
1-1, please.
And the free kick just inside the Sunderland half. In fact, pretty much on halfway now. The referees pull the ball back. Taken short. Comes back to Ayala, out wide again on that right-hand side to Rankin Costello, who turns it across the pitch looking for Brereton Diaz, headed away by Gooch, headed on again on this left-hand side by Pickering, and out for a throw to Sunderland.
I think one thing which we need to consider as well, Nick, would Ross Stewart play the full 90 minutes?
I think it's unlikely.
Yeah, so, we'd be... Well, you think about the 70th minute mark or 75 minute mark, I would imagine they'll make maybe a change and bring Ellis Sims on.
It's interesting because when Tony Mowbray's spoken about this in the past couple of weeks, he's saying we look to get him 60 minutes or so. We're up to the 60 minutes now. Here's Ahmad in towards Stewart, but it's whipped off his feet by Hedges, out for a throw by the corner flag on the right-hand side. So I think you're right. Another few minutes, 65 minutes, and probably see Ellis Sims. I mean, Stewart will probably feel he's up for the fight. I mean, he's nearly scored a second.
Yeah, once fatigue starts kicking in,
and also you've got Thursday night, Sunday. Here's Ahmad back to Gooch on the right. In comes his cross again. I think there might have been a slight clip from Morton, but it's dropped to Clark on the far side. But then Hedges has got it back for a free kick to Blackburn. Wide on the right, deep in the Blackburn half. Sims is warming up, and back it comes to Ayala. Back to Kaminsky, the goalkeeper. I say back across the penalty area now to Hyam on the left-hand side. Hyam bringing this forwards, then playing it inside to Tyler Morton. As I say, just 20 on loan from Liverpool. He's been heavily involved. He's booked as well.
Minutes on
Comes
the
back
clock.
from Buckley, who's wide on the left, to Hyam. Hyam, Stewart looking to keep an eye on Morton. Goes across to Ayala, and Ayala now through the middle for Blackburn Rovers. Swings it out to the left again to John Buckley. 23-year-old, lifting it down the left wing, looking for run of Hedges, but Ballard cuts across in front of him. Hedges seemed to catch him. It's a goal kick. Ryan Hedges apologises. 3 caps for Wales, the former Evertonian, signed though from Aberdeen in the summer. O'Nien bringing the ball out, chased by Gallagher. Gallagher's on his shoulder, making himself a real nuisance. O'Nien twists away from him, but runs into Bradley Dack on the far side. That's a throw to Sunderland. On the left, inside their own half, Hume will take. Trying to get it forward, Dan Neal. Rebounds off him again, but in favour of Blackburn. Then won back by Dan Neal. Ahmad gets an advantage here after a foul on Neal. It's laid off to Roberts, and then forwards, little touch to Gooch down the right side of the penalty area. Another good cross, deep towards Clark, gets his head on it, but it comes back out to Bradley Dack to try and clear into midfield, off the chest of Gallagher, and then swung down this left-hand side, looking for Brereton Diaz, but it bounces out.
This is a much better
throw to Sunderland, quickly taken by Roberts. Back it goes to Patterson. Gallagher goes to close him down. Patterson kicks clean through the middle, up into the centre circle. Ayala got his head on it above Dan Neil. It drops for Dack, who taps it back. It comes away off Hume. Now Buckley to Dack again, and Dack looks to curl it into the penalty area. Brereton Diaz goes down on the edge of the area. The Blackburn fans call for a penalty. Referee's giving nothing. In fact, he's up the other end now. And Kaminsky bowls the ball out here.
Getting a little bit stretched again.
Yeah. Buckley in the centre circle to Morton. Forwards to Hedges in the middle. Hedges trying to turn, tap it back here now to Buckley. Buckley to Rankin Costello, and that is driven away to the left to Brereton Diaz in the penalty area, but it comes off him clumsily for a goal kick.
I think we'll be seeing some changes very soon.
1-1 still. 20 minutes of the second half played. Patterson then just throwing the ball down on his 6-yard line. BBC Radio Newcastle. Leicester Newcastle follows this. Patterson urging everybody upfield, but they're drifting towards this near touchline. And here's Patterson's kick. Down the right to Stewart. Chests it down, knocks it back behind him to Evans, then out on the right looking for Roberts, one back by Brereton Diaz. A return ball attempted by Gallagher to him, but Sunderland win it back. And Ahmad, well, he goes tumbling over in the challenge from Dack, but no foul, says Darren Bond, who's right beside him. And it's out on the left here now. Pickering trying to get it into Gallagher. Behind him is Dack, back to Gallagher. Gallagher trying to trip round O'Nien, who gets his foot to it. And the counter-attack now is on for Sunderland as it's brought through the middle by Clark. He's looking up. He's got on the left wing Stewart, but Ahmed's wide right. Roberts is wide right. And it's smashed away.
That's what Tony Mowbray's saying. Ahmed's right beside him. Pass him the ball. He's gone for the killer.
And of course, it went straight back to Kaminsky. 1-1. Now wide on left. Brereton Diaz halfway inside the Sunderland half. He's got on the overlap Pickering, and now to Pickering wide. Calling for it down the left of the penalty area was Hedges. He's played it into the centre though to Buckley, and Buckley now to his left to Morton. Morton on the left of central midfield, back behind him a few yards to Buckley. Buckley dribbling on here, they're not closing him down. He passes it through, looking for Bradley Dack, straight to O'Nien. Now looking for the run of Stewart on the shoulder of Ayala, forced wide. Stewart turns. He's got support behind him with Clark, and Clark just inside his own half plays it through here. Evans into the centre circle to Ahmad, and Ahmad out wide to Gooch on this right hand side. Gooch taking on Brereton Diaz. He's got round him, got away from him into the Blackburn half, trying to shake off Morton, finds Stewart. Stewart, good ball out to Roberts on the right wing. Roberts now trying to find a way through, onto his left foot, cutting into the middle. Roberts now to Stewart at the edge of the area. He gets a shot away under pressure and wins a corner. Good play from Sunderland. Clark's going to take the corner on the left. Bodies piling into the penalty area. Ballard's in there. They've got the big men in there now in the 6-yard box. Dan Neil trying to get to the far post. Hedges sticking with him. It's played in low. A little flick attempted by Ballard. It's in the air, and Brereton Diaz hooks it clear up into the centre circle to Lyndon Gooch. Gooch now crashes off of Buckley standing in front of him. Comes right back up to the edge of the Blackburn penalty area. It's kicked clear again up towards Brereton Diaz, who thinks he's pulled down. The referee says no. He shakes off the appeals from Brereton Diaz and Gallagher. Here's Ahmad out to Roberts on the right hand side. Roberts now trying to get it inside to Ahmad, who plays it back to Gooch. almost on halfway, and then Evans inside of him, back to Ballard, and Ballard back to Patterson. He passes it out to Evans, then to Ballard on the right. Ahmad tries little flick and touch, but doesn't quite come off. And Brereton Diaz has got it back. Then forwards to Hedges. Just behind him is Buckley. Buckley now looking for Gallagher. Back to the centre circle where Dan Neil wins it. Gets it to Clark. Clark now taking this on through the middle. Clark still going. Clark to Stewart in the penalty area. Tries to play it under the keeper, but plays straight into his hands. It wasn't the greatest shot. Wasn't struck with great power.
I call that a shot. It was a pass.
And Kaminsky made a comfortable save.
Well done, Dan Neil again. Excellent work in that middle of the park.
He's having a good game today, Dan Neil. Here's Brereton Diaz inside to Ryan Hedges. Hedges now left side of midfield, trying to get to the edge of the area. Finds Dack looking for Morton, but he's overhit it. It's gone well wide here. Closed down with Clark. Comes back though on the right, and a pass to Brereton Diaz. Ahmad on his shoulder, tries to skip into the penalty area, get to the byline, but it rolls away for a goal kick.
I think we're going to see some subs now.
Stretch the game's stretched at the moment, Nick.
Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1.
British Crumpet, need to finish this, we do.
Which way will this swing?
It still feels as if there's a goal in this.
Blackburn Rovers could continue this record of not drawn this season. Right, team news from Leicester while we wait for Patterson's goal kick. Matthew Raisbeck.
Newcastle are without Callum Wilson today. The team is Pope, Trippier, Share, Botman, Byrne, Longstaff, Bruno and Willock, Almiron, Wood up front and Joelinton. And Leicester are without James Maddison. He's not in their squad. Former Newcastle striker Ayoze Perez is on the bench for the home side.
Thanks, Razor. That game follows ours here at the Stadium of Light. Still 1-1. Here's Ahmad now trying to get into the centre, but it's smashed away by Ayala, who is furious. So is Dack, that the throw's been given to Sunderland. Inside their half, Sunderland's half on the right. Lyndon Gooch waiting to get the ball back. The stadium roused again as Gooch to take this throw. To Roberts, back to Ballard, then to Evans. This on the right, he's tackled by Morton, fouled by Morton. He's on that yellow card. He's quickly taking free kick, then Pickering. Well, he tackles Ahmad, leaves him on the floor, no free kick. Ahmad's hurt, and the ball comes back here to Pickering. Ahmad getting himself back up on his feet again, not very happy with the referee, but he's back up on his feet, and Buckley passes it back behind him to Hyam, then to Buckley again, just left of the centre circle. Dack trying to just get out to him, play it to Morton. Good save by Patterson, getting down to his left to tip it round the post.
Nick, you know, we've said this, 10 minutes ago. The game is very open.
Yeah.
Stretched.
Mind you, he was clear
there. There's a lot
of
openings, end-to-end stuff. It's exciting, but, you know, we talk about managing the game.
There's a corner then, the third corner of the match to Blackburn Rovers from the right-hand side.
Concentration, you know, Ayala is the one that they usually aim for.
I think Hedges is taking this. It's taken short to Morton. Morton on his right foot crosses. Brereton Diaz trying to get a touch to it at the corner of the 6-yard box. It's picked up though by Patterson. And everybody sprints out back up towards the halfway line. Sunderland 1, Blackburn Rovers 1. And it's finished Watford 0, Millwall 2.
That is a crazy result.
This lunchtime. Here's Dan Neil back to Luke O'Nien, and through the middle to Evans. Back to Ballard on the right. Ballard being closed down by Gallagher, but then it comes through to Ahmad now. Ahmad in the middle, on he goes. Ahmad, he's got Clark to his left. Ahmad on his left, it's straight at Kaminsky. Just had a sense he was going to have a go rather than try and pick out Clark. Again, too straight. And it's now Brentford 2, Spurs 2. Brentford who were 2 up. 1-1 here at the Stadium of Light.
Would you be happy with a point today then? Anybody in the chat can hear?
Kaminsky comes out. Kicks onto the head of Luke O'Nien, who heads it away from Brereton Diaz out to Hume on the left, back into the Blackburn half, and Blackburn possession. Hyam in the middle, short pass forwards to Buckley, and Buckley coming up to halfway, trying to find Hedges, cut out by Ahmad. Ahmad now to Stewart. Stewart trying to find the gap to get it through to Clark, but it's won back by Ayala, and Ayala finding Dak, and then back to Ayala, and on the halfway line, forwards they come. Hedges looking for Brereton Diaz, but cut out by O'Nien, who's fouled.
Well done, Luke O'Nien.
Free kick to Sunderland. Sims
Keith
still
wouldn't
warming
be happy
up.
with a point. You don't think a point would be good against these?
And the free kick will have to be taken again.
77 watching. If you can hit the
word
thumbs
with
up
Gallagher.
and give us a subscribe, please. Can we get to 50 likes? Please
Ball
maybe
comes
pushing
back
it.
to
Can we get
O'Nien.
at least to 40 likes? 40 thumbs up.
Corey Evans in having a word with the referee, Darren Bond. I think Blackburn are they considering a change? I think they might be thinking about a double change, Blackburn Rovers. Free kick then for Sunderland. Luke O'Nien, it's definitely going to be changes for Blackburn.
I don't know about that. I mean,
And
they're a good
George
side,
Hurst,
Blackburn.
I hoped he wouldn't come on. He's going to come on.
They're
He's
up
one
there.
of the
They really are.
changes for Blackburn. And Patterson now is going to take this free kick. 1-1.
And of course, we'll have to be careful not to lose this game as well. Doesn't mean they are a threat. They have got the firepower up front.
Pickering gets the ball.
We haven't done much Sun in second half to threaten their goalkeeper, really.
Lewis Travis is going to come on for Blackburn, a midfielder, former Liverpool player who scored 2 goals in his first 2 appearances this season, but not since. So Hurst and Travis to come on shortly for Blackburn Rovers.
So the last 2 teams at the Stadium Light.
Back to Hyam, forwards to Buckley. Buckley then back to Hyam. Inside again to John Buckley in the middle of the Blackburn half, across to Ayala. And Ayala back to Hyam. And forwards to the halfway line. Hedges back to the Scotsman, Hyam, looking for Gallagher.
Come on, Dan.
Sweeps past the Devonian, and it's picked up by O'Nien and allowed to just roll behind for a goal kick.
And that's what Luke O'Nien speaking to Patterson.
Why didn't he call? Yeah.
You know, he's thinking he's gone backwards instead of coming forwards. He's got to play as like a out-and-out sweeper at times, a goalkeeper.
Two subs for Blackburn coming on.
Travis will replace him. And Gallagher's coming off to be replaced by Hurst. So George Hurst on loan from Leicester City, who's already scored against Sunderland for Leicester City's under-21s and for Portsmouth.
Another subscriber there.
Chance to score
David, thank you very much for the subscriber, for the subscription. Thank you.
Replaces Gallagher. 1-1. Patterson with this
Peter's
kick.
just trying to ring. I'll
talking
give
of
you a bell
Leicester,
after
that comes up after this game. Leicester, Newcastle. No Callum Wilson for Newcastle today. No James Maddison for Leicester City.
World Cup. They've been on World Cup duty. They never played any games, but they've come back injured. Talk me through it.
Here's Patterson's kick. Up it goes towards Stewart. I think he felt he got pushed in the back, but it's out on the left to Brereton Diaz. He lifts it into the middle, straight to Dan Neal, and trying to get on the end of it. Travis, he does, and plays it to the left, but it could fall for Gooch here, who gets it to Roberts. Ahmad, lovely little back heel to Ahmad. Ahmad now away, down this right-hand side, looking to get into the penalty area, just tried to play it left inside to Dan Neal, who slips up.
Gooch is struggling,
and out it comes. Stewart who slipped up, and out it comes on the left here to Travis and Brereton Davis, Diaz, and Buckley back to
Bailey Wright.
Hyam. And Bailey Wright, is he coming on?
I would imagine so. Gooch is struggling.
Yeah, won't be able to. You can listen to the commentary tape.
He's pulled up his right trouser leg, hasn't he? He's feeling something there.
Wouldn't be able to
Gooch,
show you
not
the match.
Comfortable. Here's
copyright
Morton on the
YouTube would
left-hand
just
side,
stop the stream
down the
straight away.
touchline to Buckley. He tries to get a ball up through the middle to Hedges. Cut out Dan Neal on the end of this now. Dan Neal to Hume. Hume up to the halfway line on the left. Clark ahead of him. Hume still going. Clark picks it up now halfway inside the Blackburn half, and he's motoring on down the left of the penalty area, trying to come past Rankin Costello, who gives away a corner.
I think they make the substitution now, will they?
Well, they try and get it done before the corner kick.
I would have thought so.
Bailey Wright, and then going to come on.
Put up Luke O'Nien at right back, I would imagine.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Is Bailey Wright coming on?
Bailey Wright then about to come on. 79th minute. Gooch is down on the pitch at the moment, receiving treatment. So as you say, I think Gooch coming off will mean O'Nien, now he's come across for a conversation, will come to right back. Bailey Wright will take over in the middle. Gooch coming off. Problem with his right upper thigh by the looks of things.
Done well, Gooch, today. He has played well today, Gooch.
He's done well this afternoon, Lyndon Gooch. At right back, he's had a handful with Diaz, the big strong lad.
Got another subscriber. Thank you very much.
Ellis Sims is coming on.
Sims is coming on, yeah, as well.
Linda, thank you very much for that subscription there, Linda. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's Roberts.
Roberts coming off, Sims coming on. So Stewart's going to possibly play the full night easy.
Interesting. Well, he's played wide right before as well. Ellis Sims, he can play out there. He can play wide.
Well, Roberts has had a good game, actually.
Well. Need to attack, need to win. Teams, good teams get wins at home. Only average teams accept a point at home.
Luke O'Nien now.
Yeah, I just think
role of right back, he strolls back
because
into
our aim this season is to stay in this league, and we are playing a very good Blackburn Rovers side. We are a good side.
Referee is going. What's he going to see? What's he seen over there in the corner?
Yeah, honest. He's living up to his name, isn't he? Bond.
Brooke Bond.
Well, not quite James Bond. More like Basildon Bond. Here's Clark with the corner from the left-hand side, and up go Ballard and Stewart, but it sails over both him and Wright, and behind for a goal kick. Is this game destined to be Blackburn Rovers' first draw of the season? Well, 43,900 and something or other.
So as it stands, Blackburn stay third. Sunderland have up to 10th. We've moved up 3 places, but a lot of teams.
And the ball over the top. Brereton Diaz through the middle. It's saved by Patterson.
They've gone 3 at the back.
Ballard right in the middle, O'Nien on the left.
I think a point would be a decent point today.
Now Sims trying to get through, having thought that O'Nien had gone right back. He hasn't. You're right. It's 3. 43,940.
What an attendance that.
Left wing back.
Today's attendance.
Sims and Stewart up front too.
Let's go for it. So now at the back.
Thanks, Ian Kerry, mate. Thank you.
Looking for Travis on this left-hand side. Leaves it for Brereton.
I used to have a shoebox full of Brooke Bond collector
across
cards.
The Blackburn half to Ayala. Ayala then back to Hyam. Forwards to Travis again. Then Morton in the centre circle. 1-1. We've got 8 minutes or so left. There'll be time on for the injuries we've had. The ball headed away by Bailey Wright, hooked away by Luke O'Nien. It's a throw to Blackburn Rovers.
Do have the ability to believe, but we have to be careful as well. So do Blackburn. We have to sort of be on our guard.
Sunderland half.
A point is better than a defeat, and I'll have to say that against a decent Blackburn
back it comes down that right touchline, back into the Blackburn half. Ayala out wide.
But we are playing with potential promotion candidates here, Blackburn.
Hyam.
No pushovers.
Left again to Buckley. Closed down by Evans. Forwards down the left to Pickering, who gets away from
So let's
Hume,
not just
can't
write Blackburn off. Never mind us going for wins. I'd love us to do it, but we cannot write Blackburn off.
At the back. Hume playing
they could sting us.
Right wing back. Clark playing left wing back. Tony Mowbray having a word with Trey Hume. Throw to Sunderland. Ballard's going to take this. Just down from Tony Mowbray. Prodigious throw. Looking for Sims. Headed away though. And now up to Brereton Diaz. Leaves it for Pickering. Evans on the halfway line though. Back to O'Nien. Quickly out to Clark on the far side on the halfway line. Taking on Hedges, and then playing it through to Stewart. Stewart now laying it off behind him to Dan Neil, and Neil trying to get it through down the left to Clark. Clark now dribbling into the penalty area, squares it. It's tapped away by Hyam, and then out to the edge of the area where trying to win it back is Stewart. He's done well here and finds Ahmad. Ahmad leaves it for Ballard, forwards to Stewart, out wide to Hume. Hume back inside to Ahmad, runs into Travis, gets it through to Sims, leaves it for Stewart. He passes it into the penalty area, but too heavy. Through to Kaminsky. His kick stretched, gets it up to over the halfway line, headed away by Ballard. On to Ahmad here. Just
I don't think we are quite promotion contenders yet, Ian.
Right.
The current squad we have, I think we are a mid-table side.
Ahmad back to Ballard, wide in front of Tony Mowbray. Inside to Evans, who tried to play it down the touchline.
Extra bit of oomph in our team. A few more signings, I think, before we can start going for a promotion push or a playoff push. But hey, that's my opinion. All welcome to yours.
With this throw,
Kieran Mustard, Ross Stewart is the best on the Loch Ness Frogmer is all we need. He'll take Sunderland to the Premier League. That's if he stays with us. I hope he does.
Halfway on the left.
So can we get to 40 likes, 82 watching? And if any more subscribers, you can hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
The substitute George Hurst. It comes back though to Evans. Does well here to dig it out.
Well done, Sunderland. Come on.
Find Dan Neil. He's got an advantage from the referee. Dan Neil finds Sims on the left. He's going to take on Rankin Costello, who makes a challenge, a successful one, and comes away with the ball out to the right touchline. Out it goes. Throw to Sunderland.
Battling.
Yes, Summer.
Late winners before against Blackburn Rovers back in the day. You remember Seb Larson's free kick when Martin O'Neill took over. And the last 3 games here have ended well for Sunderland against Blackburn. Here's Ballard. He's got Ahmad wide, but he's also got Hume. He's tried to find Hume, but Pickering's got in front of him. And it's a throw to Blackburn. In fact, I think, was he given the free kick for a push by Trey Hume? I think he has. So Kaminsky will come out to take the free kick into the final 5 minutes. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Leicester Newcastle to follow at 3 o'clock. Razor and Ando. Kaminsky with this free kick then on the left, a few yards in from touch, drives it down the left and headed away from George Hurst onto the feet of Dan Neil. And then lovely feet here from Clark through the middle, skipped away, tripped by Buckley. He'll be booked.
He's taken one for the team.
He did. He knew he was away, Clark, and just stuck his foot out and tripped him up. And Buckley will join Morton and Ayala.
That's what you call a clever foul.
Or not so clever.
Depends on which side it
is
a clever foul.
I knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
You know, how many times
Clark
have we said
was
that?
Through the middle, he was away.
Yeah, we've said that right, you know, times at Sunderland. You know, take one. Rather than bearing down on goal and then he ends up in the top corner.
Ahmad and Evans in conversation over the ball. Buckley and Morton stand behind the spray being applied by Darren Bond and his fluorescent yellow top. Blackburn in their dark navy, almost black kit, and it'll be Evans who takes the free kick. Everybody lined up on the 18-yard line. It's short to Dan Neil on the left. Back
shut that
to
door sweet up
Evans.
when you go out, yeah?
And Evans is blocked as he tried to get it forward by Hedges.
Lucky.
That was
Yeah,
very lucky. Ahmad on the right. He tries to get it forwards. It comes off the head of Hyam. Stewart gave chase. It's come back to Kaminsky safely enough, though. 1-1 as we head into the final 3 minutes. Plus, whatever time Darren Bond adds on.
That's why you should never really rely on loans. You can't.
13 wins and 10 defeats about to be punctuated by a draw for Blackburn Rovers. Free kick for them. Foul on Buckley on the halfway line. Just left of the centre circle. Buckley, it looks like, is going to take the free kick for Blackburn. Still wearing his gloves out there. He leaves it though for Morton. Tyler Morton, the loanee from Liverpool.
So massive thanks for everybody tuning in
places
today.
the ball, his socks still rolled down around his ankles.
Is it going to finish at points?
Sunderland
Blackburn
holding a line about 23, 24 yards out. Morton with the free kick floats up to the edge of the penalty area. Stewart gets his head to it, drops on the right, he blocks the cross. Hedges tries to put it back in again, headed out by Ballard, back in again it comes, and then surely a foul on Bailey Wright, and it's a free kick which is quickly taken, and Ahmad's got the ball on the right-hand wing here. Up towards halfway, checks, and then tries to play it up to Sims, but cut out on the left-hand side here by Pickering. Inside to Buckley, taps it to his left to Travis, now wide again to Pickering. Back to Morton. Morton drives it up through the middle again, but it'll go straight through to Patterson, and he will bowl it out quickly now to Jack Clark on the left, over the halfway line. Stewart through the middle, Sims through the middle. Clark still going on. Clark cuts around the back of Travis, who got a touch to it. He plays it behind him to Dan Neal. Neal now trying to shake off Morton. Neal getting into the penalty area, pushing it on, trying to cross this. He's got it on his right foot still, but blocked by Rankin Costello, who gets it to Hedges. Out again on the far right, and Brereton Diaz placed up over the halfway line. A chase for George Hurst, but Bailey Wright is there and picks out Ballard. Hurst on his shoulder, and he's pushed Ballard, who's furious. I think he wanted the advantage. But it's a free kick to Sunderland just inside the Blackburn half, just ahead of the centre circle. We're almost up to 90 minutes. 1-1 and a yellow card for Hurst.
We'll see a 4 or 5 minutes out of it,
from referee Darren Bond. Luke O'Nien goes to retrieve the ball on the halfway line. Patterson's high up by the back of the centre circle. Blackburn, 5 minutes added time. We're into those 5 minutes now. Sunderland looking for that final push to see if they can get this one over the line. O'Nien then with the free kick. Blackburn's line 23, 24 yards out. Luke O'Nien looks back at Tony Mowbray, who's obviously offering some instruction. Is played up into the penalty area. Ballard nods it down. Travis trying to get it clear. Back in though, it falls for Sims. Sims! Yeah! Ellis Sims has broken home! Ellis Sims has possibly won the game for Sunderland in the 91st minute. He's poked the ball into the bottom left-hand corner. It's Sunderland 2, Blackburn 1.
What a fantastic finish that was. I tell you what, it took eternity to go in.
It did.
But he just poked it, but he just done enough. Excellent.
It looked for seconds like it was going to roll wide, but Sims guides it into the bottom corner.
What a cheeky finish there by
and
Sims.
Sunderland could be on the verge of a Boxing Day win over Blackburn Rovers.
Excellent.
Great finish. Good work from Sunderland. They stuck at it.
They kept it in there, kept it alive.
Going.
That's what they did, kept it alive.
Very, very well worked. Persevered. And now lead 2-1. They've got to hold on now.
You've got to manage to
told you, Ian. Hey, we've got 3 minutes to hang on here, lads and lasses.
We've got 3 minutes at least left.
We need
but
to
it's
stay
Sunderland
switched
2,
on.
Blackburn Rovers 1. Some Boxing Day cheer here at the Stadium of Light. Ball is out. It's going to be a throw.
It's interesting, isn't it, Nick? You know, we reflect back to the last time we played Blackburn. We didn't have a striker. We had Ellis Sims who came on, played 20 odd minutes, injured striker.
Need to stay focused.
You know, we've played with 2 strikers. Well, 2 strikers have scored.
Yeah. Another throw to Sunderland on the right here. Trey Hume leaves this for Dan Ballard. Nobody's leaving now. The throw from Ballard, down the line it goes. Stewart sandwiched between 2 defenders. Headed away by Buckley. Comes down though for Dan Neal, trying to get it through. He gets it back, but it bounces off him, and Pickering will play it behind him to Hyam to clear. Looking for Brereton Diaz, headed off into touch by Dan Ballard. This back in the Blackburn half still. Just 2 minutes of the 5 left, but will there be any more than that? The ball rolled back to Kaminski. Stewart gives chase. The Belgian keeper gets the ball out here on the right to Hedges. Comes back down on the right now to Travis. Forwards to Rankin Costello. Battles with Luke O'Nien. Sims trying to get on the end of it. And there's a bit of pushing going on. And there's a free kick to Blackburn before Luke O'Nien's tripped up. Oh, and now some pushing. Luke O'Nien pushed off the ball by Rankin Costello right in front of the referee. And it's going to be another card out here. Rankin Costello's doing it again. No, he hasn't. He's pushing and shoving. He's pushed Ahmad out the way. The referee wants him back here to get his yellow card. Oh, he's shown it to him from 10 yards.
Sorry to hear that, Ian.
And that sheer
you being on now, does that mean you're on the mend?
Joe
you're
Rankin
Costello.
Better? Sunderland 2, Blackburn Rovers 1. A minute of the 5 left. Kaminski will take the free kick for Blackburn.
Manage the game.
The line very high, halfway inside the Sunderland half. Kaminski in his light grey, up to the edge of the area. Powerful header away by Ballard. Morton trying to go through. Sunderland win it back. Sims trying to get it to Ahmad. But now it comes off the referee, lets it go. Out on the left-hand side here. The ball swept into the penalty area. Bailey Wright heads it out as far as Hyam in the middle. He gets it back again. Close him down as it's floated in and through the penalty area and away behind for a goal kick. Well, how much more time will be added on? We're up to almost the 5 minutes now, and Patterson has this goal kick.
Come on, lads.
Ellis Sims, it looks very much like he's given Blackburn
don't pull that sticky thing off, yeah.
Another defeat to add to the 10 already this season. Not another draw. No draw.
Well, that's the 5 minutes of added time.
Remarkable record that with Blackburn, isn't it?
Yeah. But it just goes to show you what the division. That is so tight, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you won't be able to.
Patterson then with the
rest,
goal kick. All the players on this near side.
I hope you're all right.
Patterson kicks. We're into the 6th minute of added time. Rankin Costello heads it into the centre circle. Back it goes from Evans to the far side for a throw to Blackburn inside their half. It's going to be taken quickly here. Down the line it goes. Hooked over the head of Hurst up towards O'Nien now clearing. He's fouled, is he? The ball goes out for a throw. O'Nien's on the floor.
What a win this could be for someone like
Hurst goes across to
absolute fucking huge. I was only saying like it'd be good if we get a point
sitting on the pitch. Free kick for Sunderland. And we're now into the 7th minute of time being added on. Sunderland leading Blackburn Rovers 2-1.
We love you. We love you, Sunderland.
Possible winner from Ellis Sims. O'Nien smashes it forward.
Get in! Woo!
Referee Darren Mom blows
Get
his
in!
whistle. Victory on Boxing
what
Day.
What a fucking win.
Sunderland.
Come on, lads.
Ross Stewart, Ellis Sims,
Woo!
Sunderland 2, Blackburn Rovers 1.
Fantastic.
What a fucking Christmas present that is.
Huge win, Nick. And the good thing about that win today, Nick, is we've got the supporters in. We've played some attacking football. We've seen some very, very good performances from some individuals. And also, you know, Ross Stewart getting on the score sheet.
What a win, yeah. Keep looking.
So all of a sudden,
having two strikers is like having two fast bowlers in cricket. No let up.
Two potential strikers. Do you go with two?
Some of them have gone up to 7th now. Gone up to 7th.
Dan Neal was excellent in the middle of the park. They all put a shift in today. But it's a huge win. And, you know, we can go back to when we got beat by Blackburn 2-0. You know, could it have been a penalty decision on Clark, which changed the game? Then you look at the offside decision. Then you look at
very Boxing Day, lads and lasses. Thanks for tuning in today.
So it's a huge plus.
Doesn't that feel?
Sunderland, and you're thinking, yes,
and
of
course,
it's
an early game as well, so we can relax and enjoy the rest of your Boxing Day today, lads and lasses.
But you're just thinking, yeah.
Thanks, Ellis Sims, as well.
I can't see
the
why
crowd
we
is
can't
walking off.
at least finish in the top half of this championship.
Well, it's a good start to the week.
That
They've
was-
got the
that
two
was a
away
solid
games at
performance.
struggling Wigan and struggling Blackpool to come. Not saying by any stretch of the imagination they'll be easy games, but you'd rather be playing
beautiful,
teams at the wrong end of the
beautiful win
table
that.
than the right end of the table. And away from home, it seems to suit Sunderland as well. Credit to Tony Mowbray as well. With 15 minutes to go, it's 1-1.
Yeah,
it's
credit to
poised.
Tony
He could have gone for
Mowbray.
the
He
point.
carried on going
went
for the
it.
attacking
He actually threw on
options.
Sims. He kept Stewart on, put 3 at the back, and he went to win it.
Yes, indeed. But I think, Tony Mowbray felt that he could win the game. You've got to say that going forward, because Blackburn
Sunderland have won
problems.
2-1.
It was just a case of getting that opportunity, and could we finish it? And we did do with Ellis Sims.
Stewart could have had a couple as well, a bit more luck. One he struck a bit too tamely,
you look at
another
Stewart,
rebound.
Yeah, listen, he's got through 90 minutes. That is a huge plus. He scored a goal.
Yeah.
Huge plus. So, you've got to take out of the game the pluses. Ahmed's coming off now. Fantastic display.
What feet Ahmad has got. He is unbelievable. And in fairness, Roberts as well today.
We might as well call him the magician.
Here it is.
He is a little
I
magician,
don't know
isn't he?
how he
Just
gets
battered
it out
him
of the
back.
back
What a touch
sometimes.
this is.
There are times
Oh,
that he has
that's
3 or 4
cheeky.
defenders around
That
him,
is just
and he pulls
naughty
it out
by
and he
Ellis
pops out
Sims.
the ball.
That is naughty.
He really does. I mean,
You've got the right to
wonderful
punch
watch.
the air, Mr. Mowbray.
I
lad.
do wonder what his future holds. Manchester United to be well aware of what's happening here.
Listen, Nick, I think we're going to be in that same position when we've had lone players here.
Absolutely
there's other clubs
superb.
who's going
What
to be
a
looking
well-worked
at
goal
Ahmed,
that
you know
was.
what I mean? And it's a
Well
case
done,
of can
Sims,
we
coming on the
compete,
bench. Well done,
or
Tony
does he
Mowbray,
want
for
to
your
stay at
positive
Sunderland till
changes
the end
made.
of the season? Because other clubs will be coming in for him. Definitely so. When you look at that, when you
There
look
we
at
go.
him,
Floated
he's a player-
in, he's
yeah,
headed down.
sometimes he can
Blackburn didn't
frustrate
deal
you,
with it. Son
but I
and
tell you
battled
what,
and battled.
Sometimes he puts you on the edge of your
Felt
seat.
the Sims.
I think the
That was just
the
a
feeling
proper
seems to be that he'll be staying
goal
here.
poach
I
just
mean, the
finished,
noise is that he's enjoying
Here
it
we go
here.
again.
He's getting football here. He's clearly now
Cheeky.
getting better and better
Have
as the
that.
weeks
Happy
go
Boxing
by.
Day,
Yeah,
folks.
definitely so. And again, before the ball was kicked, we talked about
Get
Clark.
in.
You talk about Ahmed. You
Here
talk
we are again from
about
this angle.
Robert.
Look at that.
Cleared.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Tony Mowbray. I love that, lad. Doesn't that feel good? Get in there. Well done, son. Well. There we go. Thank you very much for your tuning in today, guys. Wow. I'll take that without a doubt. I'll take that with a bit of brown sauce, I think. Brilliant. I'll take that. So then, anybody still on the chat? Who's your man of the match today? Then there's been a few. I think Amad Diallo's been solid as well. Every touch he's had, he's just not put a foot wrong. Patterson's not really had much to do. Difficult one, really. I'll take that without a doubt. I'll take that for the. Be interesting to see who's going to get man of the match, but I do think Diallo's stood out as well. He's not put a foot wrong. He's touches everything. Or Sims, for example, he's came on, he's done the job. Wigan up next. Yeah, we'll be at. We're at home against Wigan as well. Marion Trowles, yeah. Hello, Marion, welcome. So that was a huge win for the lads. So I am going to end the stream there. I want to say thank you very much for everybody tuning in. And we will. Pato's save was that was a good save as well. They were sort of clean through, weren't they, Blackburn there, and he controlled it and picked his spot. And Pato went down to his bottom left and saved it. Diallo for me, I think Diallo's been solid. Will Sunderland keep hold of him for the rest of the season though?